We see from above the city of Duskfall. It's twilight, but then again, in Duskfall, it's always twilight of some stripe or another. The sun never really rises over this industrial, sprawling wasteland of a city that sits on an inky black sea, which is dotted with starlight from somewhere beneath the waves. Sure, it gets a bit lighter, a bit darker, but it is always suspended in this perpetual liminal space between day and night. And I hate to interrupt my own narration, but I forgot to bring out Liminal Jeff for a really quick. Oh my god, who am I? And there's.
There he goes.
These are important. Gotta get in the mood. The church bells from the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh are ringing from the Northern Bureau of Brightstone. And we watch as a raven soars across the towers of the city. We see spires and the bells within them ringing. We see gleaming yellow clock towers that stick out in the inky black fog that sort of chokes the entire city. Our raven swoops down lower, and we can see the rain pelting against the windows and the roofing tiles of Char Hollow, the beaten slum at the center of the city. As our raven swoops down into the night market, we see peddlers of every type, hawkers, shouting, selling their wares. Most of it barely edible. Bread as hard as bricks. Some bruised, neglected fruits from the outskirts. Some meat that can be best described as meat. And as our raven swoops away from the night market, we see it soar and circle above a district just near the shore of Duskfall. All we can see from on high is smoke rising from the chimneys, smoke billowing from the windows, and little twinkling red lights. This is the Silk Shore. It is the pleasure district of Duskfall. It is one massive den of vice. Bars, brothels, opium dens. Every pleasure, every addiction one can imagine can be serviced in the Silk Shore. The raven joins a congress of other ravens that are soaring, circling above the rooftops, waiting for scraps to be dropped by passers-bys. Our raven spots a little piece of bread that has lately fallen by some drunken person stumbling across the uneven cobblestones. And as our raven swoops down to grab this pitiful morsel, it swings by a window. And in that window, high above a tavern, we see perched in the window frame, outside the window frame, a small girl. Her hair is pulled back, scraggly, pointed, greasy chunks of hair that stick all about. One of her eyes is bloodshot. She looks thin, nigh on emaciated, and yet she moves with a very nimble grace. Sort of a ill-dressed, dirty ballerina. Cricket, what are you getting up to in the Silk Shore?
Well, I'm on a very important mission. something that River seemed to really be talking about as if it was, important to the whole workings of the company. And it just happens to be in the building that I'm perched in the window of. I'm contemplating my next move, trying to figure out the best way to weasel my way through behind the bar without getting noticed.
Now, Cricket has to be careful, of course, because you're not supposed to be in the Silk Shore. The criminal underworld of Duskfall takes their turf very, very seriously. And, sister, this ain't yours. Now, it's true. In the Silk Shore, there is one place where you're allowed to operate, but this is not that. This is a seedy little den called the Trembling Snake. And you have come here on a very special mission to find what exactly?
I don't really get how it's important to the mission, but for some reason, River seems to think that there is a mechanical fish that it's propped up behind the bar like some kind of a trophy, which honestly makes it pretty intriguing to me. And she keeps humming whatever song it is that she remembers this thing playing. And I feel like it's just that reminder of like, why haven't I gone to get it yet? And it just is playing in my head as I'm kind of making my move.
And that is a bawdy tune by the name of Dilly Dally Sally that has been stuck in your head for days now because River won't stop fucking singing it. All right, you are perched in a third-story window. It is a sort of gabled roof, and you are in the top window. How would you like to proceed?
Well, first I kind of want to stake out to see if it looks like it's pretty busy at this time of day. Kind of see if I can peek inside, see if there's any way I can go under the guise of just a crowded bar.
Very good. Okay. Let's do our first roll. And this will be a little mechanic that Blades in the Dark has that allows me, the Duskmaster, to basically disclaim decision-making and just let the dice decide. So this is going to be a fortune roll. You just roll a d6, and we just see what happens. How'd you do?
I rolled a 6.
You rolled a 6!
I rolled a
Excellent.
6.
Okay. So with a 6, so a 6 is what you want in this game. That is a complete success. What would be better for you? Would it be better if it was crowded, or better if it was sparsely populated?
From the way that River kind of made it sounded like there would probably be like dancing, like kind of like a dance hall type situation. So honestly, it would probably be great if there was a lot of people that are just focused on everything else they're doing, and maybe if they see a little girl just trapezing across the room, then they'll think it's just part of the show.
Yes, excellent. All right, well, so with your complete success, I will say not only is it packed tonight, there is a performance going on. There is some live music happening. And everybody is drunk and stoned and having a fantastic time. There are it's like a jazz club in like the 20s. It is a very dark bar, which is excellent for you. The lighting is very low. It is filled with smoke. There are just people dancing and gyrating, just sweating and not really giving a tinker's cuss about anything happening outside of this room as a band on stage belts out tune after tune. How would you like to proceed?
third story, I'd probably want to drop down a little bit, get a good vantage point, or get a good look at the target.
Okay.
I guess.
So you want to drop down to like the story below from where you are, or?
Yeah. How is the second story kind of like is it like open enough that I'd be able to see down onto the first floor?
Yeah, so you're at the tippy top, if it's the roof here, there's a window in the middle, tippy top window. Beneath you would be the second story, which is the upper floor. It's a balcony situation, where the upper floor is a balcony where people can look down onto the band and the kind of orgasm pit happening below. And that's sort of, that balcony tier is kind of the, if it can be called that, the kind of chill out zone. That's where people go to sit down and take a breather. But also watch from above. And then the first floor is the seedy den of sex and vice that we all know and love. Where those trembling snakes are a-trembling.
Do be trembling. I think she's gonna try to kind of like crawl her way down kind of one of the corner sides a little bit, just to do the whole like appearing out of the shadows thing, and maybe somebody doesn't just see her land randomly in the middle of the floor.
Okay. I think we're gonna call that prowl, I believe, is the appropriate skill for that.
I can do
correct
that.
me if I'm wrong. There's
would this be risky? Risky, right?
Oh yes. I would say, by the way, part of this game is that the player gets to choose what they want to use. I don't tell you. You choose the one you want to use. I just choose position and effect. Oh. So if you want to use prowl, if there's something else you want to use, as long as it makes sense, of course. I'm
a sneak. Prowl is kind of what I do. So that's a good one to choose.
Okay, prowl. Yes, and so your position, we're gonna call this risky. This is a risky standard. I mean, you're on a third story window, so if this goes wrong,
I rolled a 4 and a 3.
All right, so that is a mixed success. Okay. With a mixed success, I'm going to say, so you're going down to the story below, right? So, I think you do the thing, right? You get down to the story below. But, and now, using more game mechanics, I'm going to start a clock. What has happened is you got down to the story below, you look in the window, the second story, you can like peek into the window, the second story chill out area, and there's a dude right there who sees you. He seems reasonably sober for this, as far as this place goes. And he is slightly alarmed. He looks through the window, sees you, and then you kind of like suck back, try to not be spotted. But he's going to go try to tell someone, hey, there's somebody creeping outside. So we're going to start a clock here. This is going to be a 4-segment clock, and 1 segment is full. I'm going to call this clock bar owner gets alerted. I'll just call it alert. We'll just call it alert. What do you do?
Darn, I was going to try to see if I could just pull a rag out of my overalls and just pretend I'm washing the windows.
You can do that. You can do that.
I thought he was already like walking away.
If you want to do that, we can do that. If you want to do, and if you succeed, I'll knock that segment off.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I like
sway?
Cricket absolutely takes advantage of like every single tiny, like she doesn't keep big things, but she'll have like tiny little knickknacks that are just convenient for different things. Like probably has like a little segment of a newspaper to like pretend she's reading. Like she's disguisey too if she really has to be.
So this is a great way we can. I think this makes sense to call this a sway. You're trying to trick this guy.
Okay.
But now your position is going to be different because of what just happened. So, I think it's risky. I'm going to call it risky limited. I take back what I said before. I won't knock a segment off because that's too easy. But if you manage to pull this off, you'll make him second guess himself enough that I'm not going to add any more segments right away without something else bad happening. Okay. So risky limited. Now remember, in this game, you can trade position for effect. So you can make a desperate roll, but get standard effect if you want.
I don't remember what that does.
That just means that the consequences of failure will be greater, but the consequences of success could also be greater. You can always do that. So if it's a risky standard, you can say, instead of a risky standard, I want to do a desperate great effect instead. You can always trade.
I only have I'm just this I think she is feeling a little desperate just to not already have her first move be caught. So I think she's gonna do
Okay. So this will become a desperate standard then, and that will knock a point off if you succeed. So that will neutralize the problem if you can pull it off. But if you fuck up...
Ooh, I got a 6.
Oh, beautiful! Excellent. All right. So that will knock that segment off of your alert clock. And this, so you pull a little rag out of your overalls, scrub the window. Do you say anything?
I do a cute little thing where I kind of like am putting right in front of my face, and then I kind of like go to the side and I kind of see him and I'm like...
And you see him go like, oh, okay. Oh, kind of awkwardly waves and then just turns back to his drink and walks away. He's just like, yeah, that makes sense. They hire children to do that job. Yep. It's Duskfall.
Nimble, if I fall, I'll probably fall on my feet like a cat or something. Some reason that people would think tiny people are good for that sort of stuff. All right. But once he walks away, I'll kind of keep like doing it for a few more seconds. I'll probably see like one spot that I'm like, I definitely just need to clean that. Like really scrub at it for a second and then start trying to get the window open.
Great. You're going to try to go through this window? You're going to want to like pry it open?
Are there any other while I'm doing that, are there any other people that seem like they're in the vicinity?
No, there's no one else in me. That guy was like leaning like against the window when he came in. So no, the coast is otherwise clear.
Okay.
There are people on the balcony. No one's really paying attention to the window. So the only issue is getting the window open.
Well,
do you want to try to break it or jimmy it or do something?
My brain is wondering if there's any way I can use a lockpick in this situation, just to kind of like, because there's probably a locking mechanism that I could probably like, you know, like the kind of like the credit card trick of just kind of like swiping to find that. But
do you want to use? You said you were doing like light load.
Yeah.
If we're doing this is like a score. So okay, you can use one load to have any tool that you need to do this.
Sure. Oh, I literally do have light climbing gear. That's funny. I'm not using it at this point. I've already committed.
Yep. Do you want a lockpick or a crowbar or a little pry bar? Or...
If I can have a crowbar, absolutely.
Oh, you can totally have a crowbar, yeah. Just spend one load and you've got a crowbar.
Cool. All right. Okay, so I'll just kind of pull it from my back pocket.
Okay. You've got the tool. That will give you an extra die to crack this motherfucker open. Let us call that a tinker roll.
Ooh, do we have to?
Well, make me an argument. You can make it a wreck.
Anyway, I could do finesse. I was gonna say finesse to try to do it in like a sneaky way to try to do it as discreetly as possible.
For sure.
All right. Still risky standard?
Still risky standard. You're going to get an extra die because you have an appropriate tool for the action.
Okay. 4 and a 5.
4 and a 5. Okay. All right. You get the lock open. The window swings open. What I'm going to say, though, is that you can get in, but I'm going to add I'm going to refill that segment on the clock because I think you've broken the lock, and now the window won't close anymore. So that window will stay open, and eventually someone might notice that. And especially the guy that just saw a child cleaning the window might possibly notice that. But you have fucked up that lock, so that is not lock. So it's just, there's now just like cold, wet breeze coming into the dance floor, or to the balcony rather.
That sounds
But
like it'd be welcoming, considering how many bodies are probably down there. So you're welcome.
This is fair and true and good. All right, so now you are in this bar, and it is a rowdy fucking scene. All right. It's relatively quiet up here. Just lots of chatter. You hear a little piano coming from down below. What do you do?
Can I get eyes on the fish?
What a sentence. Yes, let's do survey to try to spot it. And we're gonna call this again, the stand, by the way, the go-to in this game, if you don't know, is like risky standard, almost overwhelmingly. So yeah, you are a child, you're not supposed to be here, so there's a risk of you getting caught, so we'll call it a risky standard. Just
all right. That's gonna go great with the fact that I have 0 in this. 3.
3 is a failure. Our first failure.
It was bound to happen.
You can spend stress to push yourself and roll another die. Spend 2 stress, actually, if you want to.
I'll do that. I feel like Cricket is convinced that this is very important.
Right. All right. Mark 2 stress on your character sheet.
Okay.
And then just roll. It's rolling as if you had 1 pip in it, so roll 1 die.
Okay. I'm just gonna roll a d6.
That's fine. Oh, it got worse. Oh, it's a 1. Oh, dearie, dearie me. Okay. Yeah, that's gonna mark 2 ticks on the alert clock. So now it is 3 out of 4 segments.
Was that glass breaking planned? Because that made it sound like my plan just went wrong.
I didn't plan that, but that fit very nicely. Okay. All right. You are like leaning over, kind of just. I think maybe you are over. I mean, you tell me if I'm wrong, but I think you're a little over reliant on how fucked up everybody is in here. That no one's gonna notice that there's a goddamn child in the bar. And you lean over the railing, and before you try to like sweep around, and that fucking bottom floor, before, you know, it was a benefit, the crowd was great, but the bottom floor is so packed that it's overwhelming trying to get a view. You look at, there's more than, and then you realize River said it was above the bar. Then you realize there's more than 1 bar in this bar. There's actually 3. There's 1 at the front and 1 on either side. And as you're scanning about, that same guy from before who had walked away, you see him on the stairs and you realize he's making direct eye contact with you. He's still got his drink in his hand, and he's like, wait, that's the window washer child. What the fuck is she doing in here? And he starts walking back up the stairs, up the balcony, toward you to confront you. What do you do? The glass breaking is happening.
Just adds the ambiance of just everything going wrong. I don't think that I gave myself any skills to be able to talk to this guy, even though I guess sway. Sway,
yeah. And you can always take stress. You can always use stress to try to...
Yeah, let me just start off with 4 stress within the first hour of the game. Really great idea.
Yeah. Also, Devil's Bargains. I can offer you Devil's Bargains to get extra dice. If you want... And also, rest of the players, you're welcome to propose Devil's Bargains. That could help Lonnie in this situation. Our dear Cricket. He's a coming toward you.
if anyone is thinking of a devil's bargain, my plan is basically to sit there and admit that I realized that the window was a little broken. Or maybe that I broke it a little bit. I just like was kind of washing a little too hard and kind of pushed it in and something got loose or something. And I want to ask to see if they can take me to who would be an owner of the bar.
Okay, so your plan is to not run away, though. You're going to talk to this guy.
I don't know why. Don't know why that's my plan. I really don't.
Okay.
But
he walks right up to you.
And I look at him in this like
are you supposed
confused
to be here?
way. Listen, I don't know what happened over there, but that window's broken. I don't want to get docked any paid, you know, if I can just talk to somebody and let them know before they think it's me who did it.
Did you break it?
I clean the windows. I don't break them. That's not my job.
Yeah.
Listen, mister, I'm just really... I just don't want to get in trouble for this, okay? Do you know who I can talk to?
Maybe if you sway me.
See what you did there? See what you did
What
there?
a weird thing to say.
Who talks like that?
That's a 2. That's a 2. It is a 2. And...
Oh, I forgot to say, this was... The position here was desperate. And the position here was desperate standard. You did just fail a desperate action. So as it is, you would mark experience. Anytime you fail a desperate action, you mark experience.
Hey.
However, if you don't want to do that, I will offer you a devil's bargain if you want to get a die and try that again. Or you can take the experience and just roll with it.
Do I get to know the devil's bargain first, or is that
something I'll tell
where
you. I'll tell you what it, and you don't have to take it.
Okay.
You don't have to take it. I will make an offer to you. Okay.
I'm curious.
He will take you to the bar owner. He will take you to who he believes is the bar owner.
Cool.
But that person will know who you are.
Yeah, no.
So you gonna take the fail?
Does he seem like the type that would grab me to like lead me by the ear or lead me by the wrist towards
You're about to find out if you stick with this.
Yeah, no. I'm not. If I could just be following him and sneak away in the crowd, yeah, no, but
Give him the shins and run for it.
You gonna take the L?
uh-huh.
Okay. That fills the alert clock. So this guy says, Hey, there's a kid in here! Hey, bouncers, there's a kid in here! You're not supposed to be here, there's all kinds of... This guy seems all of a sudden like weirdly puritanical. There's all kinds of sexual things happening in here. You can't have kids in here, come on! And the people downstairs don't really hear this over the music and everything, but the people upstairs are all like, oh, a child! Just aghast. And there are now bouncers who are these big, muscle-bound motherfuckers who look like off-duty bluecoats, which are the police here in Doskwell, who are coming to apprehend you. What do you do?
The thing is that I'm pretty sure I made myself 18, so am I really a child here?
You're just very small. Drinking age is 21.
Is it really this time period?
Probably not in Doskwell, no.
I was gonna say,
drinking age is probably
now's the
6 in
time.
Doskwell, but...
Now's the time that I display my agility and book it over the railing, down onto whoever's head is down there. I don't know.
All right, so you're gonna
Free
jump
fall.
over the railing.
Free for all crowd surfing.
Okay. We are going to start a new clock, which is called apprehension. And this will be Considering the circumstances, I actually think it's a 6-segment clock, just because it's really crowded and it would be hard to get a hold of you. Okay, so you're gonna book it over and try to make a fucking run for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think that's prowl also. I think that counts as prowl.
Position.
Position. It's not desperate yet, but it is risky standard.
Okay. 6 and a 5.
Beautiful. So that is a 6. Okay, what do you do to get away? For now.
I literally climb over the railing that I'm closest to, and I kind of just leap down and hope I don't land on a glass jar. Glass table with a bunch of glass on it. Hopefully people instead. I'm small, I won't hurt that much.
As
nice
the tense music begins
people.
Nice soft people. I'm gonna say you land like you land like on a guy. But like you're like a kid being like carried on his shoulders. Like you land on a dude for like a moment who's so fucked up he's like, whoa, what? And you manage to like fucking backhand spring off of this dude and land on your feet. Cool 3-point stance on the floor. You are now in this just teeming mass of sweat and flesh and alcohol. There are so many people. But from this vantage point, now, above the bar at the front, the one nearest to the band, now you can see it. It is real life equivalent. It is a big mouth Billy Bass, basically. And you can see it flopping back and forth, singing Dilly Dally Sally. I don't know what the tune is, but that's how it goes. And you can't hear it over the band. Of course you do. You can't hear it over the band, but you can see it. It's just that, like, it's something keeps activating it for some fucking reason. Maybe it's like motion sensitive or something, and there's plenty of motion, but you can see it. And there is between you, there's probably about 50 feet between you and that bar, and just a lot of fucking people. And the blue coats are coming down the stairs now, trying to get after you, but they're a little bit behind you. I'm gonna mark. No, I'm actually not going to mark anything on the clock because you didn't fail anything. So what do you want to do?
Well, considering there's already a bunch of people and a lot of people bumping into each other and a lot of other stuff, I'm kind of just going to do the equivalent of crowd surfing, but like crowd walking. Like just try to like literally bump into people, step on like if people are leaning over, stepping on their back, like just honestly anything, because I'm not gonna push my way through a sex horde. More so gonna try to get up and over.
I just saw Ryan just said the drinking age in this game is 21 months, and I love that.
You're like the husband, the husband landlord from Kung Fu Hustle. Go with it.
Yes. Okay, so roll a. Okay, so what I say is that the blue coats are coming down the stairs. They're just like indiscriminately shoving people out of the way. So they're going to close the gap on you very fast. So you have to think quick. This is going to be another. I think because of the crowd and because of your nimbleness, this is going to be a risky great if you can pull it off. I think you can get to this fish in like one turn if you can pull off this roll. And we're going to call it another prowl.
There's a 5 in there.
There's a 5 in there. Okay.
And a 2, but a 5.
Excellent. Yeah, ignore the 2. We're going to mark 1 segment on your apprehension clock. But you tell me what this looks like, okay? So you're jumping up on people's backs.
Okay, first of all, if I'm imagining it the way that I am, people are not all standing perfectly upright. Like, I'm not saying people are like literally on the like horizontal, but I'm assuming they're like leaning over or something like that. So I'm like scrambling over people the best way I know how. I'm scrambling over backs. If I need to like dip under legs, like I'm just like bobbing, weaving, whatever I can do. without obviously getting in between two people that have locked eyes with each other.
You took away my joke, but
Sorry.
you know what? You got a mixed success, so you do get between two people who locked eyes with each other. God damn it! You're like bumping through people, jumping up over. You get in between. You find yourself like getting Night at the Roxbury by like just getting like hip thrusted back and forth for a moment, and like bounced around like it's a pinball machine, and then you jump like up on a guy's back who's leaning over, a guy who's like sitting at the bar, hunched over, passed out drunk on the bar, just like head down, and you run up his back and get a leap and land on this little, it's got one of those things above the bar where all the glasses hang down. You get up on that, and now the fish is in sight. And the bluecoats now everyone sees you. Most of the people don't care, but the band stops playing. And now the bluecoats have a perfectly good view at you. What do you do?
It's not my usual level of sneakiness. I mean, at this point, if everyone already sees it, I'm gonna grab the fish.
Hell yeah.
I can't.
There's immediate anger, like as soon as you take that thing. That thing is like legendary here, and people are mad that you take it. Alright. What do you want to do to get out of here?
So I'm already kind of up on a platform a little bit. How hard would it be for me to get back up onto the balcony that I came from?
You could, from above the bar, you could jump and swing along the hanging lights that are between you and the balcony now. And it would look really cool.
I think it would look very cool. And I already know a window that is not broken. Up there. So I'm gonna do that.
All right. Prowl. We're gonna call this, if you fail this, you would land on the floor, and that would be really bad because that's where all the bluecoats are, and you would be in the middle of a crowd, and it'd be very hard to get away at that point. And you've made a menace of yourself. People know who you are at this point. They've seen you with a fish. So this is going to be a desperate roll, but great effect.
I think my character is just going to get arrested in the first episode at this point.
Could happen.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. So I want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly, but I do have a special ability that says when you push yourself, choose one of two. Would I theoretically be able to spend 2 stress to push myself to do well on this, get an extra die, and then trigger that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Cool.
Yep. By the way, you can also spend stress after the fact to raise the effect. So you could succeed on a standard effect, but then say I want to spend stress and make it great. You can do that too. Interesting.
Okay. So I'm gonna push myself. One of the things
Spend
I can
2
do
stress?
is either spend 2 stress. I can either perform a feat of athletics that verges on the superhuman.
Holy shit.
Or maneuver to confuse your enemies so they mistakenly attack each other. I think I want to do the superhuman thing right now.
Fuck yeah.
So,
Alright, push yourself, take an extra die.
Yep.
It's still gonna be 5. Okay. So that is gonna mark up the clock a little bit, but I think with that roll, that probably should do it. So tell me how cool this looks. It's these big hanging lamps that are like the glass bottom with like big Edison kind of bulbs in them. They're all across the whole thing. You could swing from one to another like George of the Jungle, but
that honestly is actually what I was thinking. So I have a fish under one arm. I'm George of the Jungle swinging across. But the thing is, the feat of superhuman is I'm not doing every single one. I'm like skipping some in between because I'm jumping so much that I'm just like gliding. Like I'm doing those like ballet like split jumps in between these lights.
Oh, that's absolutely. So you're a trapeze artist, basically.
I literally in the lurk thing, there's literally like you can choose kind of like starting builds just to kind of like help you out if you're not really 100% sure what you want to do. And I literally kind of went based off of the concept of the acrobat. So yes.
Right on.
Yes.
All right. So you're Dick Grayson Boy Wonder, scoot across, and you land up on the balcony. The last obstacle between you and the window is that fucking guy again. That puritanical dick who is standing between you, and he goes, Hey, that's a child! And that child stole a fish! Hey!
Kick him in the dick!
How are you gonna get past him?
Can I...
Stop right there, child with a fish!
So he is standing like perfectly in front of the window?
In front of the window, yeah, like he's not like pressed against it. There's space between him and the window, but he is blocking your way.
Can I try to use my lingering superhuman strength to have my last leap be kind of like over him?
I mean, it's going to require another roll.
Okay. But that probably wouldn't count as...
You rolled a 5 in the last. Yeah. If you'd rolled a 6 in the last one, you probably could have just gotten away, but you rolled a 5. This is your last obstacle. And your clock is at 4. You can kick him in the dick. You can smack him with a fish. You can slide under his legs.
You can throw the fish to him. He catches it. You kick him in the dick. You take it back and run away.
You can dodge a fish. You can dodge a ball.
You're not supposed to be here, child. There's all kinds of sinful things happening here.
Okay.
What would your mother say?
Wow, rude. I don't have one of those, dick.
Oh.
No, I know. I was saying as Cricket, I want to sit
that's
there.
It. Shame him.
Does he have a glass in his hand?
Mm-hmm. He's got a pint.
I'm going to land in front of him, slap the glass out of his hand, say, "Then let me leave." Just do like one of those like football like fake turnaround things where I just like turn around like I don't know terminology.
That's going to be a command. That's going to be that sounds to me like what you're doing is a command. You're ordering him to do something.
I mean, I'm not actually expecting him to move. I'm just saying something rude as I'm trying to leave.
Okay.
That's like I'm not trying to get him to move out of my way. I'm trying to distract him with the broken glass and like skirt around him. Because I do not have command at all. I am tiny. I cannot command a thing.
I will make you a devil's bargain. You can take a die in command. And the only effect I will say is that this puritanical man, he will remember you.
Like to be remembered. That seems like a bad thing for a lurk.
He will memorize your face.
Fine.
Okay. You get 1d.
You've made an impotent enemy this day.
Of this puritanical man. Alright, in command.
Okay. I'm just oh my god.
Oh god, it's a 1! Oh, that's great. Okay.
We have a hero point.
You do have a hero point. Do you want to use it?
Bad using it for literally like the starting.
Nah, do it. Go for it. It's hilarious.
Fucking do it.
Yeah,
Fucking
do it.
I'm gonna
You might
fail.
not. You might do well.
You might
I
not.
might not.
You got a 50-50 chance of succeeding.
If you don't do it, you are sure to fail, like in a
That's
very
fair.
bad
That's
way.
fair. That's fair. I'm so sorry in advance, everybody, if I fail. Okay, it's a 4.
That's a mixed success.
Mhm,
better.
Okay.
mhm.
That's much better. Okay. He will remember your face.
He's gonna be
And
a
I'll
really
remember you with
important
brown
dude.
hair.
What?
I'll remember you with brown hair.
I'm gonna dye my hair. I'm gonna shave it all. We'll figure something out.
Puritanical man. I'm writing you a note. Puritanical man will remember Cricket's face.
I'm just waiting for him to be like a very important person.
He might be. Who knows?
Yeah.
I think you were gonna slap a beer out of his hand.
Yes.
Okay.
Say then let me leave. Do a football fake out turn thing around him and
Okay. I think he is going to, as you get your fake out doesn't entirely work, and he reaches as you. It almost works. You juke him out. You spin around him, but as you're getting to the window, he reaches out for you, and when you slapped the glass, I think the glass shattered, and as you go to jump through the window, you accidentally step on one of the pieces of broken glass. And you are, of course, poor, and you wear very thin-soled shoes. So you feel it go into your foot. So that is going to be one minor harm, which is a glass shard in your foot.
okay.
But he does the comical "huh" thing as you go past, and you get out the window. And from there, I think you are away. I don't think anybody's gonna... You can rooftop run. We could do all a bunch of rolls, but I don't see the point. I think you can rooftop one with the best of them, even with a fish under your arm. And you spring across the rooftops of the Silk Shore. All the way home. And...
That did not go as smoothly as I hoped it would.
No, nothing ever does. And we arrive now at that home. You have been out. I think it was bars are open very late. And this was, it's always twilight, but this was night twilight, kind of. It is now early in the morning. The sun would just be coming up if that ever was a thing that happened here, but it's not. And you run across the rooftops of the Silk Shore until you reach the river. Not river, the river. The river which you've come to know so well as sort of the boundary that marks safety. When you're on this side of the river, the east side of the river, in the Silk Shore, you're never really safe. But once you're on the other side of that river, the west bank of the river, you're home. You're in your turf. You're in Barrow Cleft. You can see from the rooftop just before you cross the bridge, you can see the little spot under the bridge where the gang gondola is parked. From this perspective, you can see it. Most people can't. You have to kind of know it's there to see it. You have to be looking for it. But your little gondola parked under there and the tiny little ramshackle boathouse next to it. And then just a little further away, in an otherwise sort of abandoned field. It kind of looks like, if you've ever seen, I'm sure you have, like a dead mall where there was a parking lot that has been abandoned and it's cracked and weeds have grown up through it. Just sort of very slowly returning to nature. There is, at the north end of the Barrow Cleft sort of peninsula, there is a barn. Pretty big barn, but a very nondescript barn in the midst of a completely nondescript empty lot that appears to have been abandoned for decades. But you know better than that, because that barn is home. And as you come down from the rooftops and cross the bridge, you find your home. You come back.
It's really ominous music for when I first found my home.
Yeah, I don't know why that's that's just in there for some reason. You come back to your beloved home sweet home. And outside, as you are coming to the barn, we see our first other gang member, Rust. Rust, what are you doing outside the barn today?
Well, I mean, just keeping
This
watch.
morning, I should say.
Yeah. Well, you know, still pickpocket comes down the lane the other day. So are you just not going to give a shout to let us know you're coming, or...
And you see Cricket is carrying a fish.
I should have given a shout to let you know that I was coming.
Well, it's just, you know...
I can do you one better than that. And she presses the button on the bass and it starts playing Dilly Dally Sally. And she's
Dilly Dally Sally!
She kind of say anything's it.
So you were just working with River?
I mean, it seemed really important. I figured this was something I should get.
Get inside before I cringe any harder.
K.
K. Just K. It's always just K with you. Get in there. Don't look out.
The song is still playing, so she is basically like dancing into the barn.
Put that kind of footwork into fighting, you'd pay halfway decent.
Already gotten you a few times. You
I
didn't
don't know
even
what
see me
you're
coming.
talking. You've literally never fought me.
Just because your head's too thick for you to be able to feel it doesn't mean I haven't done it.
And you're lucky my skin's thick too, otherwise I'd have a problem with you.
Oh, you don't have a problem with me already?
No.
Oh,
No more
good
than
to
an
know.
ass got a problem with mosquitoes. Are you gonna chirp all day, or you gonna chirp all day, Cricket, or are you gonna actually get along to doing your job?
This fucking guy. I love it.
She kind of sits there and just gives you a look of like, Cricket's my name for a reason. But she's walking still, and she's gonna walk to find she's gonna kind of like after a few seconds just be like, well, where's River?
Do you think I'm like River's keepers or something? I'm out here all day, standing out in front of the barn, trying to make it look like it's just a barn. You know, clearing out any other problems that does come near our barns.
If you're gonna tell me to get back to work, then you might as well be useful and tell me how to do that. So if you can't, bye. And she's gonna kind of skip ahead of you.
But you grow any more bigger of an attitude, it's gonna outgrow your fucking head.
Before Cricket skips by you, could you just quickly describe for the audience what Rust looks like?
But yeah, big brick house of a guy. About like in the 6+ height range. Very like clearly also in the same kind of economic status of not having probably enough to eat as Cricket, but like clearly works in the field most of the day. Works with animals, you know, is also from a similar group, wearing overalls and a similar style shirt, though his is definitely been re-sewn and patched several times over. Not only speaking to his increased veterancy, but also the fact that matched with his collage of various facial bruises, slashes, scars, and missing teeth, he likes a good scrap. He's got a sliver of hair still sitting on his head, and whether that's a intentional thing or whether that's all that he's got left out of all the fighting remains to be seen. But you know, that little bit of red there does lend credence to his name. And as he's speaking, he is as she came over, he was plucking at some dirt under his fingernails with a very nice clamming knife that he found today.
And I believe we said a real hockey smile. Yeah.
Absolutely, that's the missing teeth bit. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I missed that. Sorry. Yep. The whole hockey smile. Okay, great.
He's got a hockey player smile
All right,
and a
Russ.
rugby nose.
You cross your arms and continue doing your job, which is looking.
Yep. Well, no product to move just yet.
No.
So, just go to mind the stand.
And Rust, you swear, as you look east toward the Silk Shore, you swear that you can see on the eastern shore a member of your hated rival gang, the Gondoliers. The Gondoliers who dress pretty much like me right now, but with little hats. You swear you can see one looking right back at you. Same stance, arms crossed, looking at you from a second-story window. But this one's different. It's her, Rust. That one big, tall beefcake of a woman that you've seen outside the brothel so many times. And yeah, sure, maybe she's just keeping watch. They know where your base is, you know where their base is, you gotta have a mutual understanding. Maybe she's just making sure nothing untoward is happening, whatever. But maybe she's looking at you.
How far away would be across? Are we talking?
It's like several football fields. Like it's far. It's far away. Yeah, it's several hundred yards away. Yeah, it's not even shouting distance from here.
I kind of just unfold my arms and kind of a pose a little bit. Just kind of look extra big. Just for a second, lean in, lean back.
Roll me a fortune roll.
Okay. Is that on the sheet? I haven't had a chance to.
It's just a D6.
I was just gonna say just a D6, right? Yeah. 3.
Remember how I said before? You're pretty sure it's her.
Mm.
It's not her. But you can't tell that from here. It's too far away. So you're posing for a random gondolier, who is now, we see from his perspective as he looks out the window, goes, "What is he doing? What?" But from where you're sitting, you're sure it's her.
Just
flex.
Just old wrestler flex real quick. I'm trying to make it real casual, but definitely, putting my hands up here.
I can't wait till we actually see her, because I bet she and this person look nothing alike.
Just
just miles off.
You'll probably see her eventually. Rust has seen her before. We don't see her here now, but she looks nothing like this guy at all. And we just see this gondolier just jot down a confused note. What the fuck is he? Okay. We see him write time log 8 a.m. Guard is flexing? ? And we follow Cricket inside. Sorry, go ahead, Rust.
No, I just find a bale of something and just kind of haul it up real quick.
Another confused note. 8:02, and he just writes, "Why?" We follow Cricket inside. There is a small sort of mud room on the side of this barn where you see some of the gang's boots have been left, coats hanging up. And then you open the door into the inner barn. And as always, you've gotten used to it by now, but it doesn't ever change. Being hit with the smell is always quite jarring when you come in here. I mean, you've gotten used to it, but it's not great. And what you smell is the smell of manure and death. Because, of course, your business is growing magic mushrooms, but not just any. We'll talk more about that shortly. But, Cricket, as you come in, to the barn proper, the first person you see inside is Soda Pop. Soda Pop, what are you doing this day?
Soda Pop would be cutting a couple of samples of our product for testing later. Because she's the resident tester of the psychedelic shrooms. And Soda Pop will turn, seeing Cricket come in, and be like, "The fuck were you at?"
The music is still playing. She's gonna literally she's gonna keep pressing the button if it stops playing because she wants it to be playing when she finally sees River. So
You went and got that fucking thing. That's what you went to go do?
it's important, right?
No, I mean, I guess the River.
Yeah, and River's important to the operation, so are you, but this was something she wanted, so had some time.
Fine. You're limping.
Oh, am I? She
Yeah,
kind of
you're also
lifts up
bleeding.
the bottom of her.
Yeah, there's blood that's pooled on the bottom of your shoe.
Yeah, but you think the adrenaline rush, I was actually paying attention to that.
Probably not.
She probably is sitting there, now that it's been pointed out, she's like, oh, yeah, that'll,
Okay, you need to get that looked at.
It is not the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I am okay. Just gotta, where's River?
Do I know where River is?
You do know where River is. River is with the new batch. Am I right about that, Justin? Is that what you were going to say?
I was gonna say, actually, I think River, is this the central part of the barn, the main floor?
Yeah.
I think River's up in the rafters.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Sort of aware of this conversation, but not entirely following it. River went up there because sometimes the what's the word I'm looking for here? The byproduct of our business sometimes gathers up in the rafters. It just sort of floats up there, so she goes up there to hang out with them.
Okay. And we float up with them. As Cricket says, "Where's River?" Our camera... Jesus Christ! As Cricket says, "Where's River?" Our camera pans upward. We see the mushrooms growing in these big, long planter boxes all along the floor. It's a big, huge open floor. And there are these raised beds full of dirt and mushrooms growing out of them. Although, something is a little out of place. Well, if you're in this line of work, you know that it's actually very much in place. But to the average eye, this would look rather strange. Amidst the beds of mushrooms, we see hanging out of the dirt at one end of one of the planters a limp human hand. And as the camera pans back and forth, we see here, ooh, a foot. Ooh, over there, a single toe. Ooh, is that the crown of someone's head? We see just a nose and lips just barely peeking out from under the dirt, because here, with the Midnight Runners, they grow their mushrooms from corpses. And corpses, as we know, in Duskfall, come with a byproduct. And that byproduct is ghosts. And as the camera pans upward into the rafters, we see River. I think I picture kind of crisscross applesauce, just sort of sitting.
Yeah, she is. She's seated on one of the rafters. It's not a floor. There's just beams, and she's seated on one of the beams, and hanging around her neck, she has it's a mask, but it covers the lower half of the face, and then it has two eyepieces. but it's hanging around her neck at the moment. She's not wearing it. She's peering over, like she's leaning forward in her crisscross applesauce and looking down at this exchange between Soda Pop and Cricket, and is like under her breath, very quietly, she sees the fish and she says, "Dilly dally Sally, dilly dally Sally, walking down the alley, dilly dally Sally, plying her trade. Dilly dally Sally finds out how the sausage gets made."
River, what are you singing?
She puts the mask back on so she can see the spirit that's talking to her. It's a song. It's a song about prostitution.
Oh,
Huh? Yeah. And there's the fish. That fish sings it. But why is Cricket back?
why am I here?
Okay. We're gonna hold on. And River takes out and like takes their hand, but like takes a few tries. It sort of like phases through.
Where is here?
You're in our barn. This is our barn, but it's secret, so you can't tell anyone about it, not even the other ghosts. You're a ghost. You're dead. Don't worry.
dead.
Oh, yeah, you're dead, but we can spend more time together. And when
How
I
did I die? Where-
I don't know. I'm not sure. It might have been on purpose. It might have been an accident. Did you have liver disease?
No, I don't think so.
Well, most people here do. What about your other body parts? They're down there. And she looks down at like the planters, the rows of like, planters with limbs sticking out, and she's like, "You're that one over there."
That's my hand. That's
Yeah.
my wedding ring.
That one looks pretty good. Did you want your wedding ring back?
I guess I don't need it now.
No, it's okay. You can take it, and then I'll do something, and you can go home.
Where's home? No, I was just buying groceries, and then it went black.
Yeah. You probably got shot.
I got shot.
I don't know. I can ask Soda Pop. Soda Pop.
Yeah, what?
Soda
What?
Pop. The woman with the wedding, the ring. When is she? How did it happen? When she died?
Yeah, okay, second, let me go check. And, Soda goes over to the planter box, and on there, scrawled on the side, is when the body came, and any little observations.
Dilly dally Sally.
Knife to the kidney.
You got knifed in the kidney at the grocery store.
Why?
I'm not sure. But it's okay. It's all right. This society is a dishwasher. Somebody who washes the dishes, but all the water is just dead chipmunk blood.
Anyways, Cricket, she's up there.
Hi! Oh. Hi.
What do I do? Do I stay here?
Oh my gosh. This one's getting annoying. Can I send her home?
Is it gonna make the mushrooms better?
It usually does.
Then do so.
And
River, roll an attune roll.
Happily. River has
pretty good at.
River has a special ability of a ritual.
Okay.
That can summon a supernatural effect. I like to think it's how she lays these ghosts to rest. Because as we've established, and as Soda Pop alluded to, when the ghosts are happy, the mushrooms work better.
Yep. So this.
So
is
I will
be,
roll
tune. I'm going to say a tune. I'm going to say this is controlled, because you could try it again if it failed. Controlled standard, and this is just what happens. They move on to the other side.
Okay. That I have 2 there, so I got a 6 and a 2.
All right, but tell me what your ritual looks like to make them move on.
So River turns around and she reaches out her hands to this spectral being, and she's still got that mask on, and she, from her pocket, she removes a charm. It's a charm that she uses for this specific ritual. It is made of whalebone, and there's some like wheat or some sort of like plant tied around it tightly, but it's like carved into the shape of a person. And she holds it tightly, and she holds up a hand against this ghost, and she just like hums. And she hums in this low throat singing, sort of just like, "Brah," like that. And the ghost shakes for a while, and River just like her eyes get wider and wider until the ghost just whoosh and releases and just sort of evaporates.
And every time you do it, you hear that music from the other side. There's just this little chiming music that just always seems to come with it. You don't know where it comes from.
She hears the music, and it's not the same tune, but she's dilly-dally Sally. Dilly-dally Sally walking down the alley.
And then the spirit sort of... It's not a... They do it every time. It's a funny old thing. It's not a scream. It's not a yell. It's just... It's a release. It's a final release of all the pain and misery that came with their lives. That has a sound that's very hard to describe. Only you, really, you're one of the only people on the planet who knows what that sounds like. And they just... as if they truly now, after their death, have finally breathed their last and let the breath of life go as they dissipate like steam over a boiling pot of water.
And
she's
River
gone.
is normally just frantic and, is always very like twitchy and jittery. And every time this happens, like in that moment right afterward, is this, she's incredibly calm and just like sort of like basking in that afterglow of laying this spirit to rest. And she pauses for a second. She says, "Thank you, my friend. It's ready. It's ready. It's ready."
All right, thanks.
Okay, fine. I don't want any riffs on my ass.
All right, Cricket, go give her the damn fish, and then go to Dexy and get that foot checked out. All right, you're a runner. We don't need to getting fucking gangrenous.
Yeah, will do. And
Good.
she...
Okay, as Cricket leaves Soda Pop, you see where that body was, where the hand was sticking out with the wedding ring. One, the wedding ring is still there, but two, you immediately see the color of those mushrooms just change from a dark, sort of royal, but slightly blackened blue to that perfect, good, glowing, slightly
Electric.
bioluminescent electric blue that you know is that good.
Soda will go over there and cut off a sample to test.
All right. Do you want to do
And
anything?
there
with that
is a
ring later, or
ladder.
are you gonna leave that alone?
There is a ladder going up to where River is, just so Cricket knows.
Yeah. All right, Cricket.
I don't think Cricket's gonna use that. She's already been climbing all over it today. What's one last big climb?
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna kind of like... She's gonna... Again, she has the singing fish under her arm, and she's gonna basically just kind of like monkey crawl up best she can to get near where River is. And she's gonna like... I think she's gonna be on like one of the rafters, like one of the planks like next to you, but not on the same one as
Like
you.
opposite.
And she's basically gonna like hold out
Right.
the thing and make sure she presses the button again so it's like starting fresh.
River mouths the words along with the fish. And every time that Cricket tries to get closer, River does the thing where she like moves further away. Like they do a little dance. And then she looks at the fish that you're holding out.
I don't know what you needed it for, but I got it.
Sally
And
finds out how the sausage gets made.
Yeah, it's a really informative song. And the fish is a really good rendition of it. So I hope it helps.
She reaches
with
out and
whatever you
grabs
needed
it.
it for. Cool. Yeah.
She looks at it and she turns it over and just is there like a panel? And she like opens it up, and like reaches inside and pulls out like a piece of this clockwork fish. She looks at it and she looks at Cricket and she says, 2 eggs over easy. And she throws the rest of the fish off the balcony and goes back to what she was doing.
Good. Okay. Yeah. Totally worth the trouble.
Your hairdo makes me sick. It is giving me nausea.
Well, I don't want to make you nauseous, and you have busy work to do, so she's just gonna already be like climbing down the rafters.
I'm River. She's like yelling after her. I'm River. You can't be River.
Cricket, you're River.
Yes, I'm River. You're a Cricket. Dilly dally Sally.
Glad we established that again. Just, I know I'm new, but thought people knew my name by now. She just kind of plops down on the ground below.
Yeah. Secure our turf because everywhere is our turf. It's all our turf.
Cricket,
I want to drop down to where the fish is. The thing that River took out, I'm assuming, makes it so it doesn't sing anymore.
That's up to
It
River.
probably breaks it, yeah. Or it could sing, but really slowly, like it's running out of batteries, like Jim said in chat.
Yeah, yep.
I like that better. It sounds like a demon.
Well, that's just fucking demonic now.
Sounds like a bug crushed on the ground, she yells from.
Dilly dally Sally.
All right, Cricket. As you go downstairs and pick up the demon fish, suddenly, the door to the barn flies open. And you see Rust getting dragged in, not by the ear, but by the arm, by Dexy, your leader. Rust, all you saw was Dexy came out of... You guys have a little... you have a little attached kind of tiny little one-room shack where everybody sleeps that's attached to the barn. You saw Dexy come peeling out of there, run toward you and just say, "Inside now," and then push you into the barn. And as she comes in, we see Dexy. She is this absolutely ageless woman. You know she's older than you, or at least she gives the air that she's older than you. None of you have any idea how old she actually is. She could be anywhere from 30 to 60, and you wouldn't really know. She has this long hair, a sort of darker tone, sort of mocha tone skin. She has a scar that runs down her chin and all the way down her neck and ends somewhere down there, though you've never seen it. She wears a turtleneck beneath her overalls. And as ever, she is wearing her red tinted glasses that she has a great penchant for. Hanging from her belt are 2 garden trowels that to the untrained eye would be mere gardening tools, but that you know to be actually her weapons. The edges have been sharpened like daggers, and she uses them with great effect in combat and kills with the efficiency of a deadly ballerina. And she is shoving Rust inside. And as she comes in, she says, "Everyone, gather round now. Everyone, over here. To the green room. Come on.
Before I head over,
Yes, you too, River.
I
Come
toss
on,
the
everyone.
fish away really fast.
You toss the fish away?
I'm not gonna hold it in my hands while I'm addressing Dexy, no.
Okay.
River
Toss it
slides
aside
down
unceremoniously. That's what I do. Do you toss it aside, sort of just drop it like a hot potato, or do you like leave it somewhere to maybe go back to it later?
I mean, I'm trying to basically hide it, but I have to figure out what to do with it later. I don't know.
Okay. Soda Pop, River, you slide down.
River
Soda Pop,
slides down the ladder.
Soda Pop, did you get a chance to sample that shroom yet? Or no?
You know what? I probably did.
It's probably working its way.
You're just...
Yeah, this is the time of day I'm supposed to be testing the products, so I was ready to do it, so...
We were in the barn just outside of Barrowcleft when the drugs took hold.
And then the drugs hit.
You are just
This is fish
as
country.
Dexy. So, describe for our audience, please, Jana, the early effect. It's not hitting yet, fully, but the early effects of using this drug. This mushroom, which is known as blue lips. One of the first things I'll say that happens is upon ingesting it, your lips turn blue, and go numb. It's sort of like if you ever smoked a clove cigarette. They get that kind of numbing, tingling effect on your lips as they turn blue. But what else starts to happen as you take the...
It starts from the extremities. So yeah, the first sign is the lips going blue and tingly. The next one is that your fingertips start getting a cool sensation, starts, getting cold, and your toes do too. And it just like a tingle that like slowly works its way up into your core, up into the spine, before finally you get into like the real meat of it. And so that's what she's feeling right now. And I didn't get to describe Soda Pop to everybody.
Sorry. Yes.
I didn't either.
Yeah. Soda Pop is a incredibly thin, like everyone, we're all kind of malnourished.
Yeah.
She's very, very thin. She is deathly pale. And she always constantly has a blue tinge to her fingers. You can't see her toes and her boots, but her toes also, and her lips. And she also perpetually looks like she has a cold at all times. And that is because of the mushrooms from the past, which we can talk about some other time.
She's been taking a lot of drugs for a long time.
I am, Soda Pop is the resident sampler of the batches, so she takes them and then she will have her high and she'll grade them. So that way we know how much money we can get off of each batch.
Yes, and of course at its peak, which you're not at yet, but at its peak, Blue Lips has been described as the blissful sensation of death. And if they're not properly refined, which is part of River's process, they can in fact kill you. But the stuff that the Midnight Runners sell, nah, it's just quality that will just take you blissfully to the afterlife and then back again. Sorry, and yes, River, please do describe before we move on.
As the drugs take hold in Bass Country. We're in Bass Country. Right. River is just sort of keeps a distance, but is like lingering behind Soda Pop a good distance and watching the effects to make sure her spirit doesn't try to leave or anything like that. And River is 5'0", surprising nobody, skinny. She has the energy of a waif in that sense. Like, she's very like skinny, but she's also, like I said, always twitching, always fidgeting, always moving around or saying things that don't make sense. She has this dark brown messy hair that goes to her knees almost, and it is usually in front of her face. Behind that, she would be what a lot of people consider to be attractive, but her eyes are always like wide and darting around and just like a deer in headlights.
She's in my notes as the danger waif.
She's a danger waif, yeah. And which is great because yesterday I saw Poor Things. If any of you see Poor Things with Emma Stone and Willem Dafoe, it's in theaters now. The main character in that is also of that class, and so it was great inspiration. Yeah.
Okay. And as the danger waif, the big hunky himbo, the tiny malnourished girl with a bloodshot eye and a bleeding foot, and a purple-haired skinny girl who's just starting to trip balls, all gather around. There is off on the side of the barn, there is an area that Dexy calls the green room. It's so named for...
Oh god, that's hilarious.
Why?
Because a green room is where people gather, but also like a greenhouse, like where we grow things.
Oh, okay.
No, it's just really good.
That's why I did it. I didn't think it was funny, but
I love it.
Okay. Yeah, Dexy calls it the green room. It's a little area where you guys can relax in between working on the batches. It's got some couches set up. There is a table. There is the vending machine from which Soda Pop constantly takes her whatever. I don't know what it's called, but it's whatever the Doskval equivalent of RC Cola is. For some reason, that feels absolutely right to me. It has to be like RC Cola. They are free, of course. But if you take too many of them, Dexy says that they will come out of your cut. And
Spoiler warning, they're always coming out of Soda Pop's.
They're always. So much of your wages are spent on
much of my
RC
wages.
Cola.
Yep.
She comes in, and she leads all of you in and says, "Everyone, sit down." River, why are you... Never mind. I don't want to know.
We're going to play a game.
We're not going to play a game. We're going
to play Duck Duck Goose.
River, what did we talk about? This is my talking.
Oh, this is business time.
This is business time, yes.
It's business time. I'll sit down.
Thank you. And she reaches underneath a little side table where she keeps a small portable radio. She doesn't listen to the radio terribly often. She doesn't really care for music. But as you all see her pull out the radio, you instinctively look up at the clock on the wall, and you all know why she's pulling out the radio. And that's because it's 7 a.m., which means it's time for the Dusk Report. And as she puts the radio on the coffee table, she turns the knob, fiddles with it, and we hear the radio spring into life. We hear those tubes hum. And you all hear the familiar jingle you've heard so many times before every morning at 7 a.m. Good morning, denizens of the dusk. It's time now for the 7 a.m. Dusk Report. I am the voice of Duskval, and these are the happenings for all of you street people with an ear for the action. It seems the butchers have been very busy up in the docks. Random disappearances of civilians is up 60% over last month, but the bluecoats are asking, where are all the bodies? Unfortunately, we don't know. If you've got any information, please do call in. We would love to find out what's happening up there. Second of all, you've all probably heard of these magical little substances by the name of blue lips that have been getting around the city. Well, we here at the Duskval Dusk still haven't been able to find out who's making these things, but we can tell you what, the gondoliers sure aren't happy about it. If you happen to have any information about where these things are coming from, also, please do call in and let us know. Third, in light of the recent uptick in both murders and drug distribution across the city of Duskval, the Bluecoats have tripled their patrols across the city. Do be careful out there, denizens of the dusk. We wouldn't want to see any of you get pinched. And finally, we have a major announcement to make. And this, of course, relates to the increased Bluecoat patrols. We have official word that Darius, the leader of the Unseen, is calling a meeting of all the gangs of Duskval.
The meeting will take place in Brightstone in 2 days' time. It will be a lights-out meeting. No lights of any kind are to be taken. If you are invited, you will receive your invitation shortly. Actually, 1 second, I have to redact that. If you've been invited, you will have already received your invitation. Sorry, yes. Just handed a correction here. You will have already received your invitation. If you have not received an invitation, you are not to attend. Should any gang, uninvited, choose to attend the Brightstone meeting, they will be dealt with in the way that the unseen deals with all of its enemies. And we can promise you, they won't find the bodies. This has been the Duskfall Dusk Report. I am the voice, and be looking good out there. All of you gangs who are good enough to make the list, we'll see you in Brightstone in 2 days' time. Good night.
We didn't get an invitation.
Of course we didn't. We're small time.
Well, that's stupid.
But we're going to get an invitation.
Well, that's more
How
like
do
it.
you-
And how we do that?
We're going to start a gang.
Soda
We
Pop.
are a gang.
Okay.
Okay, number 1, Soda Pop, please lay down. River, we are a gang. We've talked about this.
We're a gang.
Rust, I agree it's stupid. Cricket, I don't know what you said, but moving on. We're gonna get invited. You heard what they said. They don't know. The city doesn't know where the blue lips are coming from.
We're so
They know
far
that
down,
look.
we're not even on the map.
Well, maybe it's time we were on the map. I think it's time that the Midnight Runners had ourselves a little coming out party. And that's where we will take our break. We'll be back with you in about 10 minutes' time. Go to the bathroom, go have a drink of water, hydrate before you dehydrate, and we will see you all back here in about 10 minutes. Welcome back. When we last left our crew, they had just found out that there is a very big meeting of all the gangs in Duskfall that has been called by the leader of gang leaders, Darius, who is the leader of the Unseen, the largest, most powerful, and most pervasive gang in all of Duskfall. So powerful and pervasive that no one really knows who the members are, other than that they are everywhere. Darius is the leader that very few in the city could identify Darius by their face. These 5, including Dexy, down on their luck schmucks, have certainly never set eyes upon Darius. Or have they? They wouldn't know if they did. But there is this big meeting coming up in Brightstone in 2 days' time. It is invite only. And despite them being a gang that has taken the city by storm with their psychedelic mushrooms known as Blue Lips, they haven't been invited. And the reason they weren't invited is because they've done such a good job of keeping a low profile that the city doesn't really know who's supplying these things. Dexy just told us that they needed to get invited and that it was time for the Midnight Runners to have a little coming out party. But then the next thing she says after a long, pregnant pause is, I'm sorry, I said that like I had a plan. I don't actually have a plan yet. I was hoping we could put our heads together on that. Something flashy, something that can let the city know who we are she totally sees your hand, River, but something that, and she's like purposely looking away, that could let the city know who we are, not give away too much about us, but could link us publicly to the Blue Lips. Now I know that the gondoliers know who we are, but they've kept a tight lip because they got shown up by us, and they don't. No one else is gonna raise. No one's gonna raise a hand except.
Go find the candy in your pockets, River.
There's candy in my pocket.
Oh, you better find out.
Did your string come undone?
Okay. Realizing that her choice is between River and a now tripping soda pop, she looks desperately to Cricket and Rust.
Alright, put up a hand.
Cricket's gonna be oblivious to the hand raising technique and just kind of like think for a second, realize no one said anything, and be like, drug flash mob?
Okay.
No.
Rust.
Like I said, no one respects a bull unless he got some horns. Frankly, I think we need to go out there and find our competitors. Someone who's doing something similar, someone else trying to take credit for it, and make sure they know that only difference between them and our fertilizers, one little wrong turn of a knife. We go out there, we flash some silver, have a day, and well, folks will be saying our names. You know, we'd stop being so fucking soft about things.
Okay, so Rust has very predictably suggested that we go hurt someone, and she looks between River and Soda Pop. Ooh, this is hard.
Mom?
River.
Yes?
Okay, Soda Pop?
Alright, so... One, Dexy, not my fault you called this at the literal worst time. Because, like, this is when I do this thing. And by the way, right now, this is a B grade high, so... We mark that down on this batch.
She got stabbed in the kidney.
Yeah, that's right. Stabbed in the kidney. Anyways, right. I have
takes a
idea. Okay, idea.
You have idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's the word? Higher learning.
Salmonella.
No,
Sleepy Jack.
definitely not.
Back
Learning.
up. Learning. Higher learning.
Yeah. Place where that happens.
The teaching.
A school.
Teaching.
The university. Charter hall.
Yeah.
The pig's
yeah,
ear.
That's the what? Pig ear. And that's what we give
I'm helping.
dogs.
She takes
Are
a piece
you-
of candy out of her pocket and throws it over River's head.
River chases.
Go on, Soda Pop.
Okay. Alright. So, tonight, tomorrow, time before the thing.
Before the meeting, yes, yep.
Okay,
Mhm,
before
mhm.
Brightstone.
About 48 hours.
Yeah, Charter Hall, there's a thing where, like, what is it called when people gather to, like, throw money at things?
To throw money at
Sure.
anybody. Someone help me out here.
Fundraiser?
Yeah.
Strippers.
Also yes, but no, not that one.
Cockfights.
That one.
River did
Cricket thing.
cockfights.
What?
If you know where to find them.
What's so cruel
We'll
to
talk
animals?
about that later. That
Okay.
River, did you find that chocolate?
Yeah. Tastes like aluminum.
It was not. It was just a wrapper. Okay. Yeah. There's a fundraiser at the college at Charter Hall. Okay. Keep going.
Okay. So, lots of people from, like, White Crown are gonna be there, and from Brightstone, where, you know,
Rich people.
where that guy Darius comes from. So, like, chances are, some of his people are gonna be there. And what if we gave them some of the good stuff? I got a batch of A+ from yesterday. It's real good.
From the lady who died of natural causes.
No, not that one. The other one next to her.
Mid-coitus.
Yeah, that one. That's some good stuff, man. They died.
The mid-coitus is a rare vintage. You sure you? No, you're right. You're right. I mean, it's worth throwing our best product at it.
Question.
Yes, River.
Mom, what are we going to do about the bluecoats? Because the cops are trying to rack up every gang in this town.
Yes, that is going to be a problem. Well, I suggest, first of all, that we don't get caught. Any questions?
Where's my keeper? Oh, there he is. Hi, Rust.
Yeah, how's it doing?
Yeah, bud. He's teaching me how to speak Rust. He doesn't know it.
Oh wait.
Rust doesn't know how to speak Rust.
I said this was a B grade. This is a B plus. They had a second tick. Ooh.
She takes another careful. She pulls out her little notebook and takes another careful note of that. Good to know. Thank you, Soda Pop. Okay, there's a fundraiser at Charter Hall. Lots of rich people will be there. Soda Pop, what do you? What? I haven't heard of this. What kind of fundraiser is this? Is it like a gala or a silent auction? What is it?
It's silent auction. That one. They're giving away old things, vases. Opportunities. Vases? I don't know, stuff.
Vases. Antiques. Antiques.
Stuff. Yeah. A good opportunity for us to, like, get some and then get money. Question mark, profit.
Okay. Okay, so you want to get drugs to the people at the fundraiser. Are you also proposing that we steal things?
I mean, one stone, two fucking birds mid-coitus. Yeah.
You're fucking three sheets, bud.
Yeah.
She's about B plus 3 sheets.
Almost A minus. Almost A minus. She must have found what she was looking for at the grocery store.
No.
Really close.
Okay.
If she found the pasta, she probably would have gotten to A.
I just understood that. Okay. Now, despite the fact that Soda Pop is, as Rust eloquently put it, 3 sheets working on 4, there's a good kernel of an idea here. This Charter Hall fundraiser, sounds pretty exclusive. And knowing these rich people, there's probably some masquerade ball or something weird like that where they'll do line dancing or whatever rich people
Always
do.
a theme.
Always a theme. If
it's a masquerade, that'd be really great, because I don't know if I can show my face some places right now.
Well, you're not that ugly.
She looks very sternly at you when you say that, Cricket.
Oh, right. Your
there,
foot.
it's fine. Yeah, that's probably more important for later.
The new river got hurt.
Oh. What did you do? And who saw you?
I mean, not a lot of people. I mean, like, not a lot of, like, aware people.
We've talked about this. You're being evasive, and you know I don't appreciate that.
I don't know how to answer your question, because there were a lot of people.
It's really rather but it's a really rather simple one.
A lot of them were really drunk, and you probably don't remember.
What did you do?
I went fishing.
Dally Sally.
I went fishing.
And as you say that, wherever you stash the fish, it just for a moment springs to life. Just the last juice in there.
Dilly dally Sally.
We should not make mushrooms out of that demon fish.
I can, for once, River, I agree with you.
And meeting adjourned.
No, wait, no, Dexy.
I'll stand up. This River said meeting adjourned. I want to stand up.
Sit down. You were spotted and injured stealing a singing fish. Do I have that correct?
Yeah. But like again, it was at a bar where a lot of people probably won't remember anything.
A bar. Interesting. Where was that bar?
Fishing bar.
Where was the bar?
Find your tongue, damn it.
Sure.
Silk Shore.
Things seemed really important. Listen, I've never had a fish seem this important in my life. Okay?
Do you know why you've never had a fish seem this important in your life?
A lot of fish kind of just like their whole purpose is to die and be eaten.
That's a very good astute guess. No, the correct answer was because singing fish are not important. None of them are. They should all, in fact, be banished from this plane. They are so goddamn annoying.
River helped with that because she took out one of the things that helps make it sing.
Well, it's still making some absolutely horrid noise. River, did you put Cricket up to this?
Up to what?
Up to stealing a fish from a bar in the Silk Shore.
I don't know. I don't know.
River's fault.
What about these chicks are packed.
Oh my god, Cricket! Listen, I know River's really cute and everything, but stealing a fish isn't worth it to get into her fucking overalls.
My overalls are on backwards.
Of course they are, because you're backwards.
How the fuck haven't we folded yet, Dexy? The fuck's going on with this organization?
Okay.
Because when I'm sober, because Rust, when I'm fucking sober, I'm on top of shit.
Yeah, but you're never sober, are you?
You want to become the tester? You want to be this high all the fucking time?
Well, you clearly do.
Oh, fuck you, Rust.
You wish you could get in these overalls.
That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Soda Pop. She reaches over and grabs an RC Cola and cracks it for you. Take a sip. Perk you up.
Fine.
Okay. What's done is done. I don't fully, honestly understand why you did it, Cricket. I'm not sure I really want to. The point is, what's done is done. You made a move in Silk Shore. You were injured in the process. None of this makes me particularly happy, but provided you weren't spotted by any gondoliers, and she looks at you with her eyebrows raised.
Not that I saw.
Then I suppose no harm, no foul. Next time you feel like going into Silk Shore, don't.
But there's some really cool things there.
There sure are. And there is a designated place, which you all know we are allowed to operate in Silk Shore per our agreement with the gondoliers. You are welcome to go to the red light. But that is it.
I don't like those barber poles with their sticks.
She stares at you blankly.
Gondoliers.
The barber poles with the sticks in the bathtubs.
So I know this one is gondoliers.
I'm
I
sorry
can
to hear that,
translate.
River.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rust. Can we get back to the topic at hand, please?
Okay.
Yeah, a bunch of rich folks all sitting around on their asses for several hours, and we just got to go in there and
Crash the party.
Mess 'em up.
I think we're bringing the party. It
I
sounds
think
like.
we are
I
the party.
Cricket, I'm very sorry you were hurt, and I promise I will get that looked at, but we simply don't have time to do it now. We need to move quickly. But if you can get through this next score, we will get that foot of yours taken care of. In the meantime, just bandage it up, wear a couple pairs of socks. Is there anything stuck in there still?
She'll kind of like, she's sitting crisscross applesauce. She'll kind of like pick her foot up to be like,
There's a little piece of glass, but you could easily pick it out with your fingers.
Yeah, just take it out.
River gets in really close and licks her foot.
Licks my foot?
Yeah. After the glass is gone.
Licking the blood specifically, or like just like randomly on my foot?
You know, whatever she can get.
Was not sanitary, River.
River.
She's
Yeah.
at least River cares about trying to help me clean it.
River.
Hey.
What, Mom?
I told you to go take care of it earlier.
What,
Get
Mom?
me out of this.
And she kind of like strokes your hair and puts her hands on your shoulders.
1, 2, 3, 2, 2.
No, look at me, River. Hi.
Hi, Mom.
The thing you just did, don't do that. That's a thing we don't do. We don't lick people's bloody feet.
They can't be bloody.
Actually, we don't lick. Okay, not just don't. Please don't take me literally. Not. Don't lick feet. Don't do that.
Okay, I love you.
Love you too. So okay, no, this is good. We go to the party in Charter Hall. We bring the product. Okay, but how? Final question for you all to noodle on. How do we let people know it's the Midnight Runners?
Easy. We sign our names on the sign-in sheets. They always got the sign-in sheets.
Or we just let people gossip. You'd be surprised how many people would gossip, especially in riskier areas. I've heard so many things.
Lots of it's tonight. I mean, a bunch of people running around midnight. Fucking throw our stamp on that shit.
Oh, Soda Pop, you had an idea.
No, I like Russ's idea, actually. Russ, sometimes your
simple.
brain ain't so empty.
Well, you only think that because you got your two brain cells actually rubbed together right now.
Getting
Rubbing.
sobered up now. He was only a small now. But both those ideas were actually good. Leaving our mark. Well, actually, yeah, leaving our mark, doing it at midnight, because I think it's running late now that my brain is slightly less scrambled. And what Cricket said. People gossip. All
I
of
mean,
that
gossip.
worked out really well.
I mean, hell, just putting a line at the desk report as everyone's kicking off their fucking libations, you know? Say, hey, listen to these tunes. There's a bunch of rich folks all just descend into whatever the hells they would just used to. Fucking
That's it.
live stream it.
That's it. The Dusk Report.
The radio?
They asked for info.
But how do we
got
get the
info?
voice out of the radio?
We can report on ourselves and tell them what's going to happen tonight. And when it makes the news,
I promised I would never go back to journalism.
Well,
You
you're
won't
going
have
back
to.
now.
you won't.
Oh,
have
by
to
the way,
hear
River
all
is curled up in Soda Pop's lap at this point.
You two are cute. Okay, so let's let Soda Pop sober up, and then let's do this. Soda Pop, you stay there. Rust, could you get the A+ product from the back room, please? Get it ready to move. We're gonna have to take the gondola, so Cricket, can you run down to the boathouse and get the gondola ready? Soda Pop, you just focus on. Just be you. River,
Hmm?
you know what? What you're doing is perfect. Stay right there.
Okay, Daddy-O.
Okay. And if anyone needs me, I will be in the loft. And she turns and walks out to go to her little bedroom. So now this begins the score. So, here's how we shall do this score. First, let us choose... So what do we call this? A score type? I think this is a...
This is like an information, like a disinformation, right?
Yeah, I think we'll basically call this is a score type. This would be a special mission. This is a...
Okay.
It doesn't fit any of the categories. It's a special mission. You could also just call it criminal activity. It's pushing product. So, we can call it criminal activity. It does require going into outside of your hunting grounds. Your hunting grounds are Barrow Cleft. You are going outside your hunting grounds. You do not get the benefit of being on your preferred hunting ground, so that doesn't count here. And the type here, I think this is you could call this either a social or a transport mission. It seems more social. The transport seems incidental. It seems more social. That's the goal. The goal is...
I was going to say social, yeah.
The goal is to get people talking about us, so we're trying to... Yeah.
The social connection, you've sort of already provided the idea. It's rich fucks is your social connection. Rich assholes.
Rich assholes.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause
so
it should be like Brightstone people, and that's where the big group operates from. So gotta get back to them somehow too.
Okay. You all need to pick your load. Light, normal, heavy, or encumbered. Remember that if you are... if you're light, you can blend in. If you're normal, you will look like a criminal. If you're having normal load. Like, you can obviously be... People can tell that you are some kind of scoundrel if you are using a normal loadout. Heavy, you very clearly look like one, and you're slow. And encumbered, you obviously look like a criminal, and you can barely move. So everybody choose what kind of loadout you want. You don't really even have to tell me, just write it down somewhere so you know. But I guess tell me if it I mean, you should tell me if you're anything. Okay, I take that back. If you're normal or above, please tell me. If you're light, you don't have to bother. Okay, so let's do the engagement roll. The engagement roll for the score determines where we're going to be when it starts. And it's going to determine how good or bad things are. So you get automatically 1 die for the engagement roll. That's just base fortune. You will get an extra die if there is a major advantage. And these are the possible advantages. The operation is particularly bold or daring. The plan's detail exposes a vulnerability of the target, hits them where they're weakest. Friends or contacts provide aid or insight. Target is a lower tier, or district modifiers. I will hear an argument for any of those.
I say this is a very bold and daring plan.
It is. You're going into turf that is not yours, and it's possibly attended by people who are much, much more powerful than you.
Mm-hmm.
So
we are fucking with some higher. We're punching up in the highest way we can in order to, at the very least, get our names out there. Gotta let them know who you are, boys.
Right. I think that like we're punching way up, but also what we're doing is there's not that much risk. I mean, yes, further down the line there will be. But it's also like we're not trying to steal anything or hurt anyone directly.
Mm-hmm.
Can you go through the list one more time, Colin, of the...
Yeah. Operation is particularly bold or daring. The plan's detail exposes a vulnerability of the target or hits them where they're weakest. Friends or contacts provide aid or insight. Target is a lower tier or district modifiers.
Does anyone have any friends that will help us?
You all have friends. If
well, no, I mean mainly specifically that's you.
No, I know. But I mean, your friend. You all have mechanically. You have friends from your character.
Yeah.
If one of them could provide help, then I would work with it.
I might, but this would be up to you as to whether this would actually work. Because it depends if, because of it being a university setting, if a medical professional would be there for a fundraiser.
Oh, who's your doctor friend?
I have Melvir, the physiker, who is the one who created patches. He Frankenstein patches for me.
Right. I think it makes sense the doc would be there. Yeah.
Yeah, if anything, he may be one of the people that, comes in there for, hold seminars on, whatchamacallit, mortuary sciences and things.
Also, River has a friend named Laudry. who he's basically a community leader. He's a demon, but a demon of the people. So
I was gonna say, is he a demon
so
of
if he's a
sheep?
community leader, he might be there too.
I'm gonna say actually no on that one, but we can definitely
Okay.
use him later. But the reason why is if you look at Charter Hall, occult influence is 0 in Charter
okay,
Hall.
makes sense to me.
But wealth maxed out, security and safety maxed out. So there are a lot.
It's the gated community. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of cops here. The blue coats will be looking for you, and part of the consequences of doing an operation in Charter Hall is that no matter what happens, you're going to get extra heat at the end. The cops will be after you. You can also, while you're in Charter Hall, you can take a Devil's Bargain for +1 die to gather info here, but in exchange for extra heat. So, okay. So that is, I counted, you're at 2, you have a major advantage, Boulder Daring, and you have for friend contact, you have your doctor buddy providing insight. So that's going to be 3 dice. Any of you may roll it. Who wishes to do the honors? Nope, Lonnie, nope, okay, it's between, nope. Justin.
All right, what am I rolling?
You. Just 3d6.
All right, here we go. I'm just going to type it in. Ready. 3d6. Got a 4, a 5, and a 5.
All right, it's a 5. Okay.
It could be much worse.
So that means that when things begin, you will all be in a risky position. Okay. So, I think when the operation starts, you are all on the gondola. Oh, I forgot. I need my stealth mission music. Okay. So you're all on the gondola. How did you all dress for this operation? Knowing where you're going.
Probably not all wearing our matching overalls like usual.
Could be. We could be.
It's a party.
I'm gonna
This
sneak
is
in, though.
This is a borderline soiree.
Did we ever find out if it is like a masquerade type thing, or is it just
Yeah,
flat
when
out?
I sobered up, can I give in proper information?
Yeah, you can hit up your doctor buddy.
Yeah, I
Um,
hit up Melvier and have asked him, like, what's the setting for this?
Yes. It is a black tie. No, excuse me, a white tie gala. That is, yes, masquerade. So there will be people wearing all sorts of themed masks for the occasion.
River's just wearing her spirit mask, and just because she heard it was you wear masks, and so that makes sense to her. She has one, and so she's wearing that. And then I like to think that we all at least tried to dress up a little, maybe. So she has a bow in her hair.
You can use some of your load for like
Okay.
costume pieces and stuff like that.
Sure. I think
put my in subterfuge supplies, which I'm going to take as me actually wearing something that looks nice at a distance.
Yeah.
If you look at it a little too closely, you start realizing that it's real fucking cheap fabric.
I think River would do the same with her subterfuge stuff.
Okay. Is that something you already have? That's like a...
It is part of the loadout option.
Okay, yeah. So take both of you take a load for having proper attire. Rust and Cricket, are you attired, or are you going to be possibly doing something else that doesn't require you to be in the mix? You could hide. You don't have to be in the party.
I can be like the stealthy lookout. I don't think there's really anything that I would just innately have to use that would match with white tie, but maybe I could probably try to see if I could use something from around the barn to make a makeshift mask.
Remember, if you want it, you can just have it. We can just spend a load and just have it. So don't worry about that. And we can make it make sense later how you have it. We can even do a flashback later on to determine how you have it. So don't worry about that. You can have
Okay.
that. But you don't have to. It's totally up to you.
if there's a potential for a flashback, I think I'm gonna have like an unnecessarily intricate mask, but then like my dress and everything like that is gonna be like a little bit more weird, but like the face piece is like she fits in here.
I think 100% we got these dresses off of corpses.
Oh, that's right.
so
We
right.
have so much
Thinking that
Oh yeah.
We
Oh.
have so much clothing.
Would it
You
be
don't have
bad
to
if
do
I
a
took the ring
flashback.
from the dead lady?
You decide that.
There's jewelry.
Yeah.
You don't have. There's no flashback here. Just you can just spend one of your load to just have these costume
Okay.
pieces. So mark that. So both all of you, and then Rust, are you also going in costume or are you not? Because your role could be something else. Rust.
Yeah, I'm thinking I need to beat up. I need to beat up one of these servers here who's on their way to work in this event and take their outfit.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so that could be part of the plan.
Yeah.
Remember, the plan is that we're making up the plan as we go along, but pretending that we have the plan the whole time.
Well, we need someone with the back door to help get our stuff in, so as folks can't be checked. And part of that plan is conking someone's head against the wall.
Okay.
Giving
So
confidence.
as you park the gondola at along the riverbank of Charter Hall. Let me look at the map really quick, because I think you can actually get really far in to Charter Hall. Oh yeah, for sure. The riverbank comes up just like a block from the university. So we see this. We see 3 people in actually pretty exquisite attire, because it was taken from rich corpses. But we see Cricket. We see Cricket and River and Soda Pop, all pretty well done up for them. Dexy, in one of Dexy's many weird talents, was able to do all of your hair to look actually pretty legit. So you're all looking party ready, except for Rust, who is, I'm guessing, in your usual clothes for now, Rust? Or
Yeah,
okay.
Basically just in usual clothes. He's got his best knife on him, though.
Oh, the farrier knife?
Well, in this case, it is actually a dirk-style knife. It's perfectly balanced. The farrier one's just one of the ones he likes to flash around. He does still have that on, but that's his scary weapon or tool.
Ah.
His fine hand weapon is the dirk.
Okay.
The Turk's
So
Turk.
The dirk.
the Turk. In your case, spend a load to have a particularly good weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you're armed to the teeth, and as you pull up the gondola on the shore, you can hear from it's sort of a big embankment, and from the street above, you can hear, even though you're a block away from the party, you can hear it. There is music playing, there's a lot of chatter, you can hear the body laugh of irritating rich people from a block away. You can hear the voice through a sort of PA system calling out lots for an auction. It's blaring over this. You can see, as you look up into the late dusk sky, you can see the sort of searchlights that are not actually searching, they're just an effect, but just going back and forth through the clouds, sort of letting everybody know this is where the party's going on, right here. And as you pull the boat up on shore, you have this crate of the good shit, the good mushrooms. It's not a particularly big crate. I think it's probably small enough that you could carry it and it wouldn't look super suspicious. You're just a guy making a package delivery or something like that. But this crate is packed with as many of the grade A shit as you could possibly fit in this box. And as you come up on shore and look onto the street, you can see some people milling about, heading toward the party. There is 2 women who are in full party gown, who have each other's mask pulled up and are just making out next to a building. Just sloppy, drunken, rich people making out. There's people coming from the party who are kind of stumbling and carrying under their arms expensive vases and shit that they bought that they're probably going to drop and break at some point on the way back. But for right now, they don't care. You see carriages coming to and fro, people loading and unloading into carriages. And it's a happy happening street. What do you all do?
River watches the people make out.
They don't notice you at all.
Good.
Fucking paint a picture, River. God, get a fucking room for your eyes.
You're getting me paints?
No, at this rate, you'll fucking huff too many of them, and I'm just gonna hurl up the crate onto my back. And... Yeah, and you look too nice to be talking so fucking stupid. All right, see y'all in there.
Hey, Russ.
Russ?
What?
Before you go, just because I sobered up now, just to let you know that little gondolier sweetheart you're into? I'm gonna fuck her.
A barbershop hole?
I'm gonna fuck her so hard, and she's gonna be seeing stars. And you wanna know why? Because you told me I'm just like to be high all the time. So fuck you, bitch. Little hike up her skirt and get going.
Dexy looks at you, Rust, and looks at Soda Pop, and is like, "Damn."
But that
just like
contract
that,
needs...
just burn.
That does need so much fucking work. The blue shirts are actually patrolling around outside of it.
We shoved
They need
that
to
bat
drop
up
down
your ass.
yellow
And...
fucking signs.
I shoved a
Dex
bat up your
goes-
ass and turned you into a popsicle.
Dexy puts her hand on her shoulder, Rust, and says, "Just take the L, Rust. Just take the L."
Fucking hell, I'm taking the L.
Okay.
Fucking
Do you know the
shit,
plan?
I am
Ready?
the plan. No.
Okay, sounds great. So Dexy and Soda Pop and River head off toward the party. Rust, we're gonna stick with you for a moment. What do you do?
I'm heading around back, where everyone else is probably dropping off, where everyone else had already probably dropped off all the party provisions they needed for the day before. And, I'm giving that door a knock, waiting on somebody to go take a smoke.
Okay. So you head toward carrying the crate. I'm gonna say, as you head toward the university carrying the crate, because you guys did start in a risky position, one of the first things you notice, Rust, is that there are a lot of cops. As you get closer to... Where were you? Where you came up on the shore? Just, you were on the outskirts, people staggering away. As you're getting close now, there are a lot of cops. And there are blue coats. You can spot a blue coat a mile away by the long blue double-breasted trench coat and sort of constable's hat that they wear. And as you can finally see the entrance to the university, there's the sort of red carpet entrance, big vaulted arch door, people milling about outside, and there's a perimeter of blue coats who are checking people to get in. But you look around back, and you can see this back door into the kitchens at the university. And there are still police there, not nearly as many, but there are, instead of forming a perimeter, they're just patrolling back and forth. And you do see, since you mentioned it, you do see one looks like line cook who's sitting outside by the door. He's leaning against the wall. He's got one foot on the wall. And if you've ever seen a line cook on their smoke break, he's got that far away, 1,000-yard stare of a man who's been utterly traumatized by a night of horrific work, and just smoking and just no emotion whatsoever. How do you proceed?
He's gonna walk over and then put a little bit more effort in and try and make the crate look a bit heavier, like he's actually potentially struggling with it, which obviously he's not. But he's gonna kind of shout over at him. Hey chef, why don't you pop that door open? Got another supply coming. Make yourself fucking useful.
I actually didn't understand that.
Hey chef, why don't you prop that door open so I can actually get this fucking piece of shit into your kitchen there? Make yourself fucking useful.
And he looks down for the smoke. There's cops patrolling between you and him. He looks at you with the biggest fuck you face. But all is not lost. Roll, I think this is command. You're just asking him to do something. Roll a command roll. I'm gonna say risky, definitely risky, you're in a risky position. Risky, standard, yeah.
And I got a 3.
That's not
it's not
great.
the best. Yeah.
Do you want to push yourself to get another die and see if you can get something better?
Yeah, why not?
Alright, mark 2 stress.
Another 3.
Oh my god. Okay.
Did you also have that ability that lets you do something if you push yourself? I know probably wouldn't.
Strength.
I have superhuman feats of strength if I want to push myself to do that, but like that's not what's happening here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He is offended, and he takes one more drag off a cigarette, and as you're standing there yucking with the box, he just flicks his cigarette end just at you. And just says, yeah, fuck you. And turns around and goes back inside, closing the door behind him. So now you're stuck out there with a box and a bunch of cops around. And the cops have definitely seen you at this point. They don't really suspect anything at this point, but a cop who sees you carrying this package and sees that you just got a door closed in your face walks over and says, oh, hey there, what's going on, bud? He sounds suspiciously like you.
Yeah, well, you know, fucking believe the balls on this guy just closing the door on a fellow worker. Can't believe that. I mean, truly, there's no fucking honor in this sport anymore.
Looks like you had a little boondoggle there between you and that guy. You got some kind of history?
Well, I better hope not. Otherwise, he's history. Once I get in there. But you know,
don't go saying threats like that to an officer of the law. Might have to arrest you.
Hey, oh, you know me, I'm playing clean. Don't worry about that, officer. But you know, I really gotta get this door open. Otherwise, you know, it's gonna be my head you're gonna be investigating about.
Oh, what you got there? You got something for the kitchen?
Yeah, well, you know, if they ever tell me what I'm carrying, all I know is the damn thing's heavy. Ain't that always the way it is?
Okay, roll a sway.
Roll a sway. Okay, I'm gonna do stress to try and not roll at disadvantage.
You have a 0.
I have a 0 in sway.
Good question.
I will.
Let's have social skills.
I'm gonna offer you a devil's bargain.
Yeah.
You can still take stress, and you could roll 2 dice if you'd like. But I am going to give you a devil's bargain, which is that you can get an extra dice, but you will get, at the end of this mission, you will take an extra heat, because this cop will actually like you a lot. He'll like you so much that he will remember you and tell people about you, and this will definitely add heat to your score at the end.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the goal, isn't it?
In a sense, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'm fine taking that on myself.
Okay, you're gonna take the stress too and roll 2 dice?
Well, let me, so it's gonna be 2 bonus die, right? Overall?
Yep. So just 2 dice.
Yeah, just 2 dice. Let's go for it. 3 to 4. No, 4.
4. 4 is not bad.
4 is not bad. If I could stop rolling 3s, that'd be great.
+1 heat from friendly cop. Make a note of that. Okay. Oh, you just need the door open, that's all?
That's about the long and short of it, yeah.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Hey, just one guy I know how it is getting sent, you know, we're just a bunch of gophers, all of us working steps. Go for this, go for that. Hey, I know how it is, bud, no problem. And he opens up the door to let you in. And you got a mixed success, so there will be a a complication from that, but not yet. So he opens the door, and you see before you the kitchen. And with that, we're going to jump over to the ladies and their finery. You guys have way more cops to deal with. There are a line of cops, and the three of you, plus Dexy, are in your finest evening wear. But there are lines of cops, there are people coming and going through this line, and you see that the cops are checking invitations. What do you all do?
Was there, you know what? I wouldn't mind, I don't know if it'd be considered adding, I guess, another one to my load, but my subterfuge supplies, I got to look at Melvir's invitation. So we could have made our own.
Yes. I think this would be a great place for a flashback. Where you can, whoever wants to do it, whoever did it, can spend stress, and we can do a flashback of you making invitations.
Who would be good at making invitations? River? No, apparently not. I guess it's me.
What would
Just
the
as you're
skill
coming down.
be for that, theoretically?
You don't, there's no skill. It's just, you just do it.
Okay,
You just spend the stress and you just do
I
it.
will take the stress for it, because it was my idea.
Yeah, you
Okay.
don't want River to make these.
I think just one stress for that. I think that's complex, but not unlikely. So mark one stress.
It's up.
And we see a brief flashback wherein what was your doctor's friend's name again?
Melvir.
Melvir. We see Melvir come to the barn that evening. And there is the same very polite tap, tap, tap that he always does at the door.
Hey, man.
What is this? You
What,
send
the
for
bar?
me. No, I know what this is. You send for me in the middle of day. You wish to know about the party. Was
Yeah.
is that?
Well, you see, we want to come out into polite society and give them a party.
You are not invited. You see how this is problem.
Well, I mean, yes, of course. That's why I'm asking you for your help. You were invited. You have an invitation, and I'd like to, get a good look at it.
I don't know this. For this,
Come on, Melvir, please. I'll get you a good... Listen, I've always gotten you the best, cadavers. Certainly there's been one that you've had your eye on. I mean, you've made patches for me. There's gotta be something else you've been wanting to tinker with.
Well, now that you mention it, you know how I gave you the hookup for the body that died mid-coitus?
Oh yeah, that was some good stuff.
You wouldn't have happened to have already had a crop that came from the mid-coitus body, would you?
Well, I gotta go talk to Dexy about that, but... maybe.
Dexy is, standing behind him, and she just goes...
I think we can strike up a deal with you.
And we see... a little, swipe across the screen as we see... Melvir laying on the floor of the green room, tripping his fucking face off. Just rolling around on the ground and oh my god. As Soda Pop has we see a whole bunch of scrap pieces of parchment on the floor, the ones where she didn't quite get it quite right, the drafts that weren't quite good enough. And we see her slowly working on the calligraphy to match exactly. And when all's said and done, we see 4 invites bearing fake names, of course, whatever you want them to be. We can all come up with that as we move forward, but that No, I think, yeah, you probably give them to Dexy. That Dexy pockets and puts in a little clutch that she's carrying with her. And then we are back at the party. Dexy pulls out her clutch and passes you all out an invitation. Okay, everybody, make sure that you don't forget the name on the invitation. So take a look at them now. Make sure you say the right name. She's saying this to everybody, but looking at Cricket. Make sure you say the name on the invitation. And then flashes to River. The name on the invitation. You're speaking, but no words are coming out, River. You're doing that thing again where you just move your lips.
The name. The name.
Yes, the name. Great. Okay. Whew. And as you guys get to the front of the line, there is a mustachioed constable with his long blue coat. Invitations, please. Thank you. What name's on the invitation, Jana?
Felicity Feltman.
Miss Felicity Feltman, any +1?
Did I bring... No, I didn't bring any of them as +1, did I? No. Just myself. Hopefully I'll find a date in there.
One can only hope, yeah. Right, have yourself a good night, Miss Feltman.
Thank you, sir. Move aside and wait for the others.
Next up is Dexy, who hands it. And hers is Maeve Flockhart. And she says, yes, that's me, Maeve Flockhart. Thank you. Thank you very much, officer. And she moves on through. Next is Cricket. And you are?
Linnea Rowan.
Linnea Rowan. Right. And you, miss.
Yes, good evening. I'm the Lady Agatha Monroe. Here's my invitation.
Is that the name of the invitation?
Yep.
Okay. Oh. You know what? Just for fun, roll a fortune roll.
Okay. That's just a d6, right?
Just a d6, yeah.
A 1. Oh, she was doing so good.
It's not gonna have any real consequence. Oh, it's just gonna be if you rolled high, he would just like pretend to know who Lady Agatha Monroe was.
Yeah,
and be really
right.
like deferential. But instead, he just Lady Agatha, right? Yeah, right this way. Enjoy the party.
Thank you. What a dashing uniform. You look simply stunning.
Oh, thank you very much. He blushes just above his mustache.
She goes into the party.
Okay.
She sees the others and walks up and says, "What about all the unborn chicken voices?"
What
That's
about
a Radiohead reference?
Most of what I've been saying tonight have been Radiohead lyrics or lines from The Warriors.
Yes, the only thing I was going to say is earlier you mentioned something about eggs, and now you're talking about eggs, but in a different way. So that was the only pattern I noticed.
Okay.
So you go into the party. It is exactly what you would expect. There are people. You notice most of the masks are bird themed. Apparently, that was the memo. That was the theme. Most of the masks kind of look like swans or owls, ravens, all kinds of stuff. That seems to be what's going on. And as you go into the main area, this big gallery hall, you see this auction. There is a man up on a podium, and if only Rust were here, he joked about how, I don't know, they're probably selling like vases or something. And you see a table next to the auctioneer, and it's just fucking vases. There's so many. Who needs all these goddamn vases? There's like 100 of them on a table, and a bunch of the people in the audience have vases that they've already bought. And you can see the lots and like the starting bids, and they're all like thousands and thousands of coins for fucking vases.
So, I have to wonder, like, how does so many vases like survive the passage of time, right? Like, it's gotta be baffling.
All of those are going to break
Probably at some point.
tonight.
Or they do now. But you're not gonna break them, are you?
I'm not sure yet.
Please don't.
Did you want to break one? I'll save one.
No, don't break.
I'm just
anything.
saying, you put a party into a room full of vases, and it's like introducing it in the first act of a play.
You know what? Actually, River, you're not wrong. They probably are all gonna break tonight because we're gonna get these people fucking lit. We're all gonna drop them because of that.
Oh my god.
Dexy puts a hand on your shoulder, River, and says, "That's a very good idea, River. Maybe we should break their vases."
Well, what about the blue lips?
Oh, we'll do that too. But look at those prices. Just think. We could be known for getting this whole party high and destroying millions of dollars worth of artifacts just because we can.
And nobody will remember because they'll be somewhere else.
I mean, it's
That's
A+ stuff.
We could work with this. And as she ponders that, we come back to Rust. Rust, you're into the kitchen. There are line cooks moving to and fro. Everyone is way too busy to really be paying any attention to you right now. You can hear a head chef barking, screaming out orders in whatever the Dosqual equivalent of French is. It is exactly what you'd expect. It is a hoity-toity kitchen that's probably an extremely toxic and abusive work environment. And you see there are crates of vegetables that are like gathered near the back door. There's like tomatoes and cucumbers that are just like these big wooden crates. And as one of the line cooks walks by, he sees you for a moment and says, "Oh, just leave it over there, man. Thanks."
Yeah, no worries, bud. What I want to do is, first off, I would love to find out if there's any other open mushrooms. Any other crates of mushrooms here at this party.
That's a great idea. Let's do, I believe that would be a survey roll.
Are you looking for narcotic mushrooms, hallucinogenic
No,
mushrooms?
I'm looking
or
for...
are you looking for the stuff they're going to use in
I'm
cooking?
looking for the stuff they're going to use
Yeah.
tonight in like a beef Wellington.
Got it.
Just get
Or I
everyone
guess-
high off the
And
food.
we'll make it a beef even betterton.
Would that
A beef very Wellington.
Very well.
Beef so Goodington.
Beef, call it beef turkey.
Your
There you
new
go.
nickname is Beef so Goodington.
I mean, that's what they say.
Okay, Beef Turkington. I think it's a survey, but I'd take an argument on other things.
No, I take a survey, just figuring out where everything is in this kitchen. I mean, you know, he's not a food guy.
Okay.
So risky standard.
Oh yeah, sorry. Risky for sure. I'd say risky great effect.
All right.
I mean, if you find that, that's a huge in if you get that.
All right. Sounds good to me. No bonus yet. That's a 5.
That's a 5. Excellent. Okay. As that cook walks by and says, "Yeah, just leave it there, man." You kind of nod, and you're like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." But instead of dropping it, you walk further forward in the little hallway, and as it opens up at the end, it's this big rectangular kitchen, and you can see the big, long prep table where these cooks fucking frantically chopping up shit, trying to keep up with the ridiculous appetites of these rich fucks. There is a long line of grills, and there's people sauteing shit, and it's just there's probably like 100 cooks in here, and you see at the back on a chalkboard is written the menu for tonight, and you see opening course, or there's like all the little like hors d'oeuvres that are the little finger foods that are going around. There's like shrimp cocktail and like mussel, whatever. Again, I don't think the Rockefellers exist, but they are the equivalent of mussels Rockefeller is, or, or oysters Rockefeller, excuse me. And some various sauteed vegetables and whatnot. And then you see the main course that's being served at the sit-down dinner is beef Wellington. And you already see, because it's not ready yet, but they have to get ready. There's already a line of cooks frantically searing filet mignons. And that's where you now see the shouting is coming from, is that there is this very short man with an extremely tall hat who is standing behind cooks who are like twice his height, who are hunched over this scalding grill and are sauteing mushrooms frantically, as this man is just, you fucking idiot, you fucking, it's like just Gordon Ramsay going off on the, you fucking burning it, what's the matter with you, just losing his fucking mind. And you can see behind him on the prep table is where all these mushrooms are coming from. There is a crate of mushrooms sitting there, and there's a ton of mushrooms laid out on the counter. Many of them have already been chopped up, but there's many more that have not been as well. What do you do?
I want to make an argument for Wreck here, because I'm going to go in, move towards that mushroom crate, and basically like take our crate of Blue Lips, and like as I'm putting it down, try to purposely not only shove that box back or just like smash it up, but like put mine down so that it's really the only viable option here.
Are you trying to like somehow ruin that case of mushrooms?
Yeah,
that other case of mushrooms?
Basically ruining it and putting ours in a superior position with my talent at ruining things in ways that truly only Rust knows how to do.
Okay, that sounds great. I will accept your wreck. Do you wish to push yourself, or do you perhaps want a devil's bargain or anything?
I tell you what, I'd be interested in maybe hearing a devil's bargain about me being forced to spend some time that could be spent out at the party helping cut these things up and prepping them.
That's hilarious, and I will give you an extra die if upon success you are forced to put in a shift as a line cook at this place.
Absolutely.
However, failure will result in immediate ejection and will require you to find a new tack to get these mushrooms in.
Yeah, that works for me. I'm ready now.
Okay. All right. So whatever was that gonna be like 3 dice for you in that?
That's just gonna be 2 now. So I only have the 1 wreck.
Okay. I'm gonna take away that consequence then, because that wouldn't be fun. Failure. If you immediately get kicked out, that wouldn't be fun. Failure would result in... No, you know what? That's the thing. You're going to have to work here no matter what happens, whether you succeed or fail. You're going to get recruited to be a line cook with an abusive tiny chef.
All right.
Okay, so that's 2 dice.
Right.
It's a 5!
Yeah.
All right. Now, that is a standard effect. You can... If you want to spend stress now, you can spend stress to increase the effect to great effect. Just so you know, I want to make sure you're aware of your options. You can make some wild shit happen with these mushrooms.
I think that's a great idea. I think I completely and utterly destroy that, as well as a similar fungus or other seasoning. Oh yeah.
Get it into the vegetarian option. Everyone gets it.
It's not just the 1 crate. It's like a secondary one that would have been used as like, okay, yeah, no, here's the vegetarian option, or like garnish, which sometimes is the vegetarian option. And like, so he's effectively got 2 vectors now. It's spreading across.
Stations.
Oh my god, that's so good. That's so good.
Good
I'm gonna
job,
say
Robin.
with that, so mark 2 stress for pushing yourself, and
I took a devil's bargain, didn't push myself.
you did both. You pushed yourself after to increase the effect.
Oh, duh.
Yeah, so that's 2 stress.
Oh, it's only stress.
Yeah, well, the devil's bargain doesn't cause stress. Just
I know. No. I'm just saying I have a lot of stress already. So
what did you take stress for before?
Failing a roll that I pushed, and then taking a second one that I also pushed.
Oh, you don't take stress from failing a roll.
Oh no! But like I pushed both already.
Oh, okay.
I've been pushing rolls a lot because I've been rolling things I'm not good at.
Gotcha.
I am good at
so
one thing.
You drop this crate and fucking smush this other crate of mushrooms. And what honestly though is most offensive to the chef is that they all go on the floor. And now, like, they get scattered and now they cannot be served. This chef is very strict about hygiene standards. This is a serve-safe kitchen. We will not have anything that's been on the floor be served. And he turns around. You see this man, like, he hears the crash and the clang and everything falling, and this guy just stops. It turns around slowly, and the line cooks look absolutely horrified. And he says, "Who the fuck are you? And what have you done to my fucking mushrooms?"
I delivered your fucking mushrooms, bud.
You've put out from on the fucking floor, haven't you?
Suppose I have.
Do you have any idea what you've done? This is the most prestigious gala that Charterhall University throws all fucking year. They're expecting my signature beef Wellington. And you have destroyed one of the most important ingredients. And now you bring me a crate of what? What is this? What is this?
This mushrooms, bud. I brought your most important ingredient, special treated, imported, Scotland.
You brought me Scotland mushrooms.
It's fucking celebratory, isn't it?
Do you know the mushrooms that you just turned into a sort of pate all over the floor? Those were actually imported from the Dagger Isles. Do you have any idea how much they cost?
I reckon I don't. I reckon you're about to tell me.
You reckon correctly. They cost more than your life is worth. So as far as I'm concerned, you owe me a debt. So what I suggest you do is pick up that knife, put on this chef white here, and start chopping. Otherwise, I will instruct every single line cook standing before me to pull out their tiny little paring knives and stab you to death!
Oh, you wouldn't want to do that.
I promise you, they would do it. And you see the chefs are like, we
But you wouldn't want to do that, bud. You have no more line cooks. But he's gonna take out the knife take the knife as instructed out of the block and kind of spin it in between every single one of his fingers and just, I'll cut for you. I was gonna cut anyways tonight, but figures might as well do it for use.
Right. Excellent. If anyone needs me, I will be in my office with a large glass of whiskey, and then I'm going to come back out and we are going to finish this dinner, and it will be a success! And everyone, all the chefs in unison, just say like, "Yes, chef!"
Sure, bud.
And, do a fortune roll for me, Russ.
Okay. 5!
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that, like, he leaves, he drinks in his office for a little while, and with a 5 fortune roll, Rust, the rest of these cooks, they're actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, you make some friends tonight. Like, you'll get some... these are homies. They're pretty chill. There's a couple dicks, you only got a 5, so there's a couple assholes. For the most part, these are good, salt-of-the-earth dudes, just like you, really.
Mm-hmm.
Working-class lads, working their way up.
Learn some new
have,
cutting techniques.
You learn how to do a julienne. I think you pass, like, the rest of the evening in the kitchen having a pretty nice time, actually. And we go back to the main hall. We're gonna sort of flash forward ever so slightly, where the auction has begun to wind down, and there's still tons of these vases here, but they're getting ready to take a pause because as you hear the bell, alerting you that dinner is nearly ready to be served. And the auctioneer stops for a moment and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, I've been informed that it is nearly time for dinner. Of course, we'll be having the special beef Wellington tonight. So if you could all just make your way toward the dining room, I'm sure you'll be treated to something that your taste buds will savor for the rest of your natural-born lives. We'll resume the auction as soon as dinner is complete. Thank you all very much."
I'm really hungry.
They've been serving canapes, right?
What the fuck's a canapé?
Hors d'oeuvres.
What?
Hors d'oeuvres.
Or
Hors d'oeuvres,
derbies.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, there's finger
Okay.
foods going around on
Yeah,
platters.
because I would like to note that some of it has gone into my little my clutch for later.
You stole the hors d'oeuvres.
Just putting stuff in your little purse.
Guys, we come from the fucking boonies.
True.
I'm gonna take a bunch of food.
Good
This is a
point.
Ziploc bag. This is a Ziploc bag in my clutch.
I think River hangs back as people go toward the dining room to try and steal more food.
Okay, but as people go toward the dining room, it leaves the vases relatively unguarded. There are still police here. You could be seen, but there's not as nearly as many eyes on the vases. What do you all want to do?
Speaking of eyes on the vases,
Yes.
has River noticed any supernatural entities at this party?
Ooh. Do a fortune roll.
Her mask is on. Okay. Fortune roll, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, bud. 3.
3. Gonna say, I think that is something that an event like this they actively try to keep out.
Okay.
So that probably means though that among the crowd here there are other people with occult tuning like you,
Yeah.
who have been assigned specifically to make sure that ghosts don't crash the party.
They're ghost bouncers.
Ghost bouncers, yes.
Right. Okay. River looks around and realizing that there's no spirits active here, she just turns to the others and says, "Well, there goes my panda."
Ooh, I have an idea.
Okay.
It's based off a cricket. A cricket.
Oh, it's
Is it
probably
to have me steal one of the vases?
No, not to steal them. There's no way we can hawk those things. It'd be impossible to sell them. Considering the amount of money. Psst.
There's so many of them. How would they be able to trace back one of them?
No, our problem would be finding a seller. Finding a buyer would be an issue. The people who would buy them are all here. We'd have a big issue. Like, trying to do that, be found out in no time. So regardless, what Dexy said about destroying them is also more fun. I feel like it's more fun. So what I need you to do is that she opens up the her clutch that's full of the canapes and goes, "These ones right here," and pulls out the salmon ones. These are oily as hell. Let's go rub those vases with them. So when people pick them up, they just slide out.
Can't get traced back to us.
because the
Because
fish will
they
bite
dropped it.
them.
Yeah, the fish will bite some of that. You're
Yeah.
the
River-
next one of us.
River starts rubbing vases.
I guess I
Hey,
can-
Colin.
Are you actually
just-
holding the salmon to rub it, or are you just rubbing like with your hands? Just
Nah. She's just rubbing vases. But Colin, what I want to know is, do I get a genie? Does a genie come out of one and grant me 3 wishes?
Roll a disadvantage fortune roll.
Okay. All right. Yes. 2.
If they're both 6s, it'd be hilarious.
I got 2 and a 2.
No, they're both 2s.
Oh, I was hoping.
It'd be hilarious if they're 6s, 2 6s. We're doing so great.
All of a sudden, genie.
You're it.
You know what? No, there's not a genie in there, but
I
there
look at 'em.
is a ghost. Because you realize that this is not a vase. This is an urn.
You guys, this one has
And-
a friend inside.
And as you rub it, and then like peek the top off to see if a genie comes out, this ghost comes roaring out of the top of the vase, which immediately attracts attention from one of the occultists who's been hired to be here. And in fact, River, despite the fact that he's wearing a mask, you would recognize Flint anywhere, simply by the color of his soul. Flint is a white-haired man. He's actually only about 40, but he went prematurely very, very white. He is very pale, sort of built like a boxer who retired and gained weight. Pretty strong, stocky, sort of a George Foreman build, with this sort of like shock of spiky white hair. And he's wearing a mask that looks like I think it looks like a pigeon. It's stupid. It's stupid. And when he sees this ghost come out, he immediately runs toward you and tries to clamp the vase back down, or the urn back down, and says, "Oh no, you can't be opening that, please." And then he shuts it, and as he puts it down, he looks at you, and though you're wearing your mask, he has a long stare at you. "Do I know you?"
Your hat hurts my teeth.
That's the answer I needed. You're not supposed to be here.
You're not supposed to be anywhere.
I could have you arrested. You realize that, right?
Bet you'd like that if I got arrested.
Very much so, yes.
Don't.
You're disrupting my trade yet again. So how about you give me
Why?
a reason to not tell the Bluecoats you're here?
I think River looks. Do the other Midnight Runners? I mean, they've heard River talk about Flint before as this guy who's a trafficker in spirits. I mean, has River talked about him? Maybe not. Maybe River's just ranting and nobody listens to her.
I don't think they would have ever seen him. They wouldn't know who he is. But they might have heard you talk about him.
River's going to turn to Dexy at this point and make eyes at Dexy with like a very serious look.
Through a mask.
Yeah, like, but just like she can tell, you know.
Okay.
River's usually like a squirrel, and right now River is like a snake. And just like looks over at Dexy and says, like, "Dexy, this man means us trouble."
She comes closer. Is there something I can help you with, sir?
He steals my friends.
So you must be Flint, this trafficker I've heard so much about from our dear River here. And as she's talking to Flint, to avoid me talking to myself the next 5 minutes, as she's talking to Flint, River, she's talking in circles. She's just kind of repeating herself oftentimes and just sort of saying, "Yes, we've heard all about you. We hear you're not a great person, but listen, there's no reason we can't. There's no reason to cause a scene. You go your way, I'll go ours." And she's kind of she's being overly nice and overly diplomatic. And Cricket and Soda Pop, as she's doing that, you can see that she keeps making eye contact with the two of you. and flashing her eyes from you to the vases.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, while she's doing this, can we go and like start making those vases oily?
Yep.
Oh, my mind went a very different direction.
Go. I want to know what yours. What
I'm
was
not.
it?
I'm not gonna do it. But at first, at one point, I was thinking if I knock one of the vases off the table that's really close to where he is, and then say in like a really loud voice, like, "What are you doing, sir?"
That's a great idea, though.
But
And if you
then
could totally,
it would only be one
she's-
vase that's broken and not a bunch of them.
No, I'm gonna
Yeah,
go
but
do
we
the
could do
oil
it.
thing. I'm gonna go do the grease thing if you want to do that. We can split up, divide and
Yeah,
conquer.
both and yeah.
Yeah, I'm proud.
River
I'm
only
not
has-
prowl.
River has eyes on Dexy, but it's taking everything in River's power not to go check to see if all of these have ghosts in them, and to just smash them all immediately with no subterfuge. Like
Okay.
River is like fighting to maintain her behavior.
3 rolls.
Okay.
Cricket. I think for you, Cricket, yours would be a wreck.
Is there anything else?
Or maybe a sway. No, actually, I think it's actually a consort because you're trying to convince the crowd.
That I can do that.
Okay,
It's
consort-
risky.
You.
Or
Risky. Yeah, risky standard for you. Jana for you, I think we're gonna call oiling that up Tinker.
Dang, I have nothing in that.
Alright, well you can push yourself to get a die.
Any chance it's being prowly because I'm being sneaky?
Doesn't really fit Prowl. Does it? It is
says about
sneaky.
unseen, so.
I guess you know what? The whole oiling it up, that's not hard to do. Anyone can do that. The part is not being seen. So yeah, Prowl. We can call it a Prowl.
Okay, thank you.
And then River's going to be
risky
doing
standard?
a tune roll.
Sorry,
uh,
standard?
Jana, yours is going to be controlled standard.
Okay.
And River, you're going to be doing a tune roll that is going to be desperate,
Mm-hmm.
but great effect.
I know that. Oh, look at that prowl.
Yeah.
I know that you can push yourself. Is that after you know the results?
It can be. I think technically you're supposed to do it before, but I let people do it either or to just try
Okay.
one more die. So you can do it before and add an extra die to your pool, or if
Right.
you fail,
I mean,
you can push yourself to roll one more die and see what happens.
I mean, whatever part of River is, not whatever, is really wants this to succeed. Like, she's like, keep it together.
Take 2
So I'm
stress.
going to roll 4 and a 4.
All right, you can.
I don't know, y'all. It's
You
mixed,
can push
right?
yourself. Yeah, it's mixed. You could push yourself to try to roll one more die and see if you can get the 6th.
Nope. I think I'm going to stay with the mixed.
Okay.
Yep. Because I think that's true, is that it's mixed. How
Yeah,
well she's
well, it probably
keeping
is,
her
yeah.
cool.
Okay, so a lot of things happen at the same time. Jana, while this conversation, while he has him kind of locked, has this man locked in, has Flint locked into this conversation, you kind of walk around, and I think you probably just look like you're just like an interested buyer who's just kind of like inspecting them, like, oh wow, look at that, that's so old. But as you're looking over them, you just a little rub down every time, just a pat here and a pat there, because it's and you're quick enough about it that even though there's a blue coat nearby who can see you, this is normally, if this was like a museum thing, don't touch the paintings, he actually doesn't even notice you touching them. And you manage to oil up like all these vases, or at least a very large percentage of them. River, you realize that a lot of these are urns. Not all of them, but a lot of them are urns. And you know from your experience with the occult that you can wash the ashes out of an urn. You can never get all of that ghost stank out. There's always a little bit of ghost stank that stays behind.
You're gonna have some.
So a lot of these, some are just decorative vases, but many of them are urns. And you surmise, because Flint is here, that Flint probably sold a large number of these to be auctioned off, so that he probably is getting a cut of whatever the auction profit is, you know. Yeah. But then also he gets to like write it off in his taxes. It's like a donation to the university. Basically.
Oh yeah. I get it. It's the same thing as why at grocery stores they ask you to donate money to something.
That they've already donated money to.
That they've already donated money to, so they can write it off.
Right.
So I think River is like realizing this. River has vials as a part of a zero load thing. She has these electroplasm vials that she can collect ghost residue in.
Can I just say one more thing before you do that? Because I didn't get to Lonnie's thing yet.
Yeah.
You realize that a lot of these have ghosts in them. And you particularly realize that one of the ones that has a ghost in it is the one that Lonnie just knocked off the table. That Cricket, just knocked off the table. And you see it happens in slow motion, River. Like this, you see that she just kind of nudges it and it falls, and you can see the expression on Cricket's face changing immediately as Cricket is getting ready, getting in character in that split second to accuse Flint of, "Sir, you knocked the vase over." But Cricket's face, as this all happens in bullet time, Cricket's face never quite gets to make that expression. Because what instead happens is Cricket gasps as a fucking wailing banshee comes roaring out of this vase. And maybe it's you being nearby that's making them active. Maybe it's the rest of the occultists or what. Or maybe people here were just about to buy a bunch of vases, get them home and realize that they bought a ghost. But that wail comes pouring out. And as soon as that happens, there is a commotion. The guards start freaking the fuck out, running toward this. You did have something you wanted to do with your vial, so I'd like to hear what that was.
Well, not anymore. I was just saying that she has these vials for collecting residue, and that's her intent. But now that this happens, she has a different intent.
Okay. So, what happens next is a series of misadventures as the guards, as the vase falls over, Flint looks terrified, realizes that he's been kind of found out, gives you a look of like, "I'll deal with you later," and then just like runs to kind of like, not even runs, just sort of jogs to try to escort himself politely from the party. But as the wailing banshee flies through the fucking room, the guards close in on the table, and as they try to like contain this, they bump and another one falls off.
Oh shit.
And a bunch of the guards, and then the table, now unbalanced, becomes unstable, and the rest of the vases start shaking and falling. And guards and partygoers and university employees all run toward them, trying to keep them from falling, but as they grab them, the oiled up vases slip through their hands and hit to the floor and crash. And before too long, there is a melee of smashing glass and ghosts flying around, and a bunch of guards with greasy hands. Yes, Justin.
River turns to Dexy and says, "See, all of those vases are going to break."
She's a prophet. Kill her. No, I'm kidding.
She just smiles at you and is like, "Very astute, River." And as a bunch of people start pointing fingers, there's wild accusations flying all around about who's responsible for this. And the guards, the rest of the guards, the larger part of the guards, the larger part of the party, never quite make it to do anything about it, because they're all in the dining room, where everyone you now hear is rolling around on the ground, basically coming in their pants, because they just got some grade A shit. They just had that good beef Wellington. and you just hear like screams from the other room, but like just joyful ecstasy coming from the other room as glass and ghosts soar all around. You see a bunch of the there's like a high as shit blue coat who just pulls his pistol out and just starts like shooting out windows. Two people get in a fight, but they're laughing and smiling while they're punching each other in the face. There's ghosts just like swirling around all over the place. And Dexy looks at all the glass shards on the floor, of which there's now, it's like terracotta pottery. There are thousands of shards. And most people have either fled, or the ones that are tripping from the Beef Wellington are just having a great time. And Dexy looks down at all of the pottery shards and looks at you all and says, I need your help with something. And as you all depart the party a few minutes later, it was on the front page of the paper the next day. This fracas at the Charter Hall University. Thousands of people suddenly taken ill with a psychoactive substance. A random fight and an orgy broke out, and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of priceless vases were smashed. But what no one can stop talking about is how somebody then took all the little shards and arranged them on the floor to spell the Midnight Runners were here. And when you get home later that night, you have dinner together. Dexy patches up Cricket's foot.
I was going to ask if she thought of that when she saw the shards of pottery on the floor that we could also step on and...
Definitely did.
Cool.
You have dinner together, you break bread, you laugh. Rust comes home really late. Like way after all of you. Rust shows up still in chef whites. Smoking a cigarette.
Job never gets fucking easier, I tell you that.
Talking about the really nice guys that he met that night.
There's a good group of guys, to be fair. You know.
Russ, what you did was wonderful. Great job, bud.
Yeah, so how much you lay off and trying to fuck my girl, huh?
Oh, I was kidding about that, of course.
Oh, of course you fucking were.
She's not my type.
That's why. Well, that's why I like you.
Yeah.
Rust,
I like you a whole bunch.
Maybe just don't say that all I want to do is get fucking high, because the first time I did, got this fucking cold that never goes away.
I hears that, but I gotta hear what Rivers got to say too.
You look like a sheep.
Why did I feel like a sheep?
And as you all banter over drinks and dinner, there comes a polite knocking at the door. Who wants to answer it?
Well,
I do.
Oh, okay. I guess it's right.
I know Hughes wants to, but
Use cans.
hey, look at you picking up common fucking parlance.
Rust.
Let's do it together, huh?
1, 2, open the door.
I'd open this.
There's nobody there.
Oh, ain't that a fucking typical thing? Did we get ghosted? They leave at least some candy, huh?
River puts the mask on.
There's no ghost. But Rust, as you look down, perhaps hoping there'd be candy,
Sure.
there is a folded piece of paper.
Well, ain't that something? Then go down, pick it up.
It is folded and with a red wax seal with an ornate U. Do you crack it?
Oh, you knows I do, but I do it with a new knife I picked up from the kitchen.
Nice. What is it?
Well, it's a weird kind of flexi floppy knife that I'm pretty sure should be pretty good for opening up and separating papers, but you know they kept sticking it into fish. I've had a chance to wipe off most of that onto the sheet before, but it's probably still going to be a bit. This whole letter's going to smell a bit fishy.
So with your oily fillet knife,
Yeah.
you cut through the wax seal. It's a ornate letter U, at the center of which is a human eye that has sort of an X shape passing through it. And you crack it open, and Rust, you will forever remember that you were the first one to lay eyes on it. It is the simplest of messages, only a few words, and yet means so much to you, to your friends, to this gang, to where you're going together as an enterprise. The letter, if it can even be called that, simply says, Brightstone, tomorrow night. Can you dig it? And that's where we will end tonight. Hey!
Hey!
Thank you so much for coming along. I did not mean for that to run that long. Sorry. Had to get to vase smashing. Thank you all for coming along with us on that ride. We managed to squeeze so many references to the Warriors into one short episode, and there will be many more to come. That was an absolute delight. I don't even know where to start. I suppose I'll do it reverse order from last time. Oh, yeah, that's right. You know what? I can say I did this on purpose. Because now that I went way over time from where I should have, it's now after midnight, which now means it's Hoop's birthday!
Happy birthday, Hoop!
Everybody!
Happy
Dilly
birthday,
dally
Hooper.
Sally! Sing the birthday song! Dilly dally Sally.
Happy birthday to our illustrious Sir Hooper. Okay, I'm going to go reverse order here. We're going to start with Sir Turkington, Beef LaTurk.
Mm.
I'm going to do Justin style here. My highlight for you tonight was just being one of the guys in the kitchen, you know? Just being a working class man with the rest of the cooks.
No, it was a pretty fucking good time, yeah.
My favorite moment interacting with you was the time that I made a cop sound exactly like you by accident. I didn't mean for that to happen, but he just started talking that way, and then I was stuck with it.
Yeah, sympathetic accent mimicry will lend you in a lot of hot water.
I specifically do it with you a lot. It's hard. When you were playing Maltese, it was so hard for me to keep my southern accent going.
I had to reverse the exact same thing, though, to be fair, so... Definitely.
Infectious.
It's because you're bros.
My homie, my brother. Yeah, that was delightful. Thank you for giving us Rust. He is a delightful himbo extraordinaire. What do you got going on, Turk? And anything else you feel like sharing about the session? Or what your highlights were or anything?
I mean, I just think this group is the best in the world, you know? Best there was, the best there will be. You know, Hard Dynasty all the way. Gosh, what else have I got going on? I am Turk, or Turk accented, if you're feeling more grandiose and like introducing me like a magician. And I was playing Rust, and if you want to see more of me, get this, ready? I'm not doing anything this next week until we're back here.
Wow.
And it's my design. Because the week after that, we're in for it, boys. Oh, we're in it. We're back to back, boys. I've got Oathsworn on the 22nd. I've got Caravan Cthulhu on the 23rd. I've got Bayou Shadow Peace on the 24th. We're back here on the 25th. And then I have a home game on the 26th. But, like, don't worry about that part, because, like, that's just for me. None of you get to see that unless you follow Cyberilla on all the social medias. And maybe, well, if you're there already, you might as well commission her. Because
Or if you have
goddamn,
cameras in your house.
you know what? You can't have cameras in my house. At that point, like, let's talk about sponsorship deals. I'll absolutely do it because I'm a terrible person who would love to be famous for clout reasons, just so I can.
There's a camera
eventually...
in your house right now that you're willingly on.
Exactly.
Might as well be an alien named Denzel.
Who even knows if this is the last thing I'm going to be on? You know, frankly, I feel like I'm jumping on streams or doing stuff anyway. I have this much free time. I think I might crack if I don't have a stream plan. So, you know, I'll be around the Discords. Come hang out with me, you know? It's going to be awesome. But also on a serious note, please, like, y'all haven't already realized, Jana here takes commissions for very reasonable prices. And if
Very
you're part of our Discord or follow her on Twitter, you have already seen the incredible, awesome art that she can do like that. Imagine the time, giving her time and direction and just like money. Imagine giving her money, then make that dream a reality. Pay my friend. Anyway, this is obviously, as usual, as expected, as foreseen and prophesized. Incredible. Looking forward to doing this and then jumping in on Delta Green. I mean, every single time we gather for this group is a treat. That all being said, because Hoop's not here, I'll jump in real quick and just note that, you know, you got to keep being awesome people and doing awesome things and doing the best you can, given the times and days and tribulations you face, or else fight you. And support the people you see on your screen here as they tell you where you can see it, because they're incredibly talented and they deserve your love and support, and they've earned it. And give it to them now, please, please, please. Anyway, that's enough about me. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Sugar. Jana, Soda Pop, God, I love her. I have two highlights for Soda Pop tonight. Number one was when you delivered your idea for the score while tripping balls, because you had told us during the break that you had an idea, and you asked if we wanted to know what it was now, and we said no, just deliver it in character while you're tripping out, because we thought that'd be more fun. And it was, and I'm so glad we made that decision.
I'm glad.
Number two was telling Russ that you were gonna like finger blast the gondolier girl that he's super into. So that's fantastic. Thank you for that moment. Big fuck you. We love Soda Pop in this house.
A long and proud tradition of Jana talking about finger banging on this channel
True.
on Thursdays.
It continues. I'm so glad it's in my GMing
Listen, I only recently just came out as bi, so like I gotta make up for time. But hi, I'm Cyberella Draws. You can find me on my Twitter or Blue Sky at Cyberella Draws. My Tumblr is Sootchild because I'm inconsistent and never planned ahead in life. I did do some drawings. They're in the Discord for Lost Caravan. They will be up on my socials soon if you want to see them. A very rare case of where I decided to doodle this time traditionally. Normally I do it digitally. Today I just felt like ink and pen. But this was great and hilarious, and I'm looking forward to the rest of it. As for where you can find me, I'm not doing any other streams except for this one, and then Delta Green in February when we start up again as Maple, the cranky old lady who's also really aggressively, she's aggressively lesbian, hard-carrying lesbian. But that's me.
Mabel seems like a gold star lesbian from like way back. Of course, she's not in this show. So. She's old, yeah.
She's
got
so
a long
old.
streak going.
She's so old and it's so dusty down there. Nobody's been down there in a while.
I haven't heard the voice in a while.
If any fine ladies want to come help me out by lubricating down there with their tongue, go for it. And there's a taste of Maple.
It's like fucking sawdust between my legs now. God damn it.
It's a mummy script in there, okay? At any point, that hot mummy guy, because no matter who, everyone for the mummy, even if I'm a lesbian, pretty fucking hot. But, like, the whole cast of the mummy is down in there.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Good.
Continue on.
Okay.
Like, yay.
All right. That leads us to Lonnie. Lonnie. Oh, dear. I knew I wanted to open with Cricket this week just because I thought Cricket, one, because of Cricket's mobility and gives us a chance to see some of the city. So I thought it made sense to start with her. But also because, like, I don't know. She's the newest to all of this. She's closest to the audience surrogate of being the kind of the person that the audience could actually relate to. And yeah, I loved her. That whole opening sequence, like everything I do, it went on longer than I thought it was going to. That's just my life. But that whole opening sequence, the puritanical man is now like my favorite NPC, and I can't wait to do something with him again. I don't know. I'm gonna just say this right now, because I don't want this to be in your head. Because the more you talk about it, the more I'll be tempted to do it. But it's such a stupid idea. Darius, the gang leader, is not the puritanical man.
Okay, all right, good.
I'm not doing that. I am not
Because you were like,
doing
he will
that.
remember you. He will remember you. And then like, there's this really high up guy on this really important thing that you need to impress, and it's like,
Guess
No,
what?
Darius is not
Guess
the
what,
Picture-
puritanical man.
It
I just
isn't
picture like
Darius.
the end of our third episode and all of us like running somewhere and we run past the same guy and he goes, "Hey, I know her."
Yeah, you know what? No,
And that's
isn't
it.
Darius. It's Darius' second in command.
Oh, right. Yeah.
The send the word guy, yeah. No,
okay, so I'm gonna hold you to it. You can't make him
Word.
Darius. Got it.
he is not Darius. He is absolutely not Darius. No way. Yeah, that whole opening sequence was fantastic. You doing the crazy like George of the Jungle across the top of the top of the bar was absolutely badass. Truly delightful. Thank you, Lonnie.
you.
What you got
Thank
going
you.
on?
Well, I also am in the same boat of this kind of being what I'm doing right now. I did apply for one shots in February, so maybe check back and see if in one of those. But honestly, this group is just so much fun to play with. And also, I've been wanting to play Blades in the Dark for so long. So Colin, thank you for just like giving me like literally giving me an in to it.
It's such a it's a good system though, right?
It's such a good system. I don't know if you could tell, but when I was like sitting there at the beginning, I've already played like 2 plugins, but I haven't played like original like Duskwall. So like at the very beginning, I was like, okay, let me just make sure I remember everything that like I know about this system because I've been so excited to play it. So, thank you again.
You're welcome.
And also just, I'm not going to say as enthusiastically as Turk because he just sold all of us so well. But honestly, seriously, all these people, incredible. Come watch us play, go support each person individually. They are so fun to play with. So, and it helps me play around with new characters too, because I feel comfortable, which is really, really nice. So, yeah, not many places that I am right now, but check back in, and I'll see you all next Thursday again. Same time, same place.
Thank you. By the way, please, guys, don't let me forget to give you experience, because I always forget that. There's end of session experience in this, like, Monster of the Week. Finally, Justin.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, yeah, we gotta get Justin back.
All right, I'm back.
Excellent. Okay. And for River, oh Jesus. There was just River's style of sick burn is so good. Your River's method of insult. What did you say to well, I did like you
said
you shouting
you don't belong here or something like that, and River said you don't belong anywhere.
Got him. You shouting at Cricket, "You can't be River, I'm River," was also great.
That's line.
Mm-hmm.
Just heartbroken right at the beginning of the session. I can't be River.
That's right.
What did you say to Flint? Something like,
oh,
did you say like your hat makes me sick or something like that?
Oh, I think I said that his hat made my teeth hurt.
Yes, made my teeth hurt. Yeah. I love River's insult. To me, with River, when she says shit like that, you can tell that in her head she thought that she just fucking.
Oh yeah, and that's the best part. is that's what all it was good for anyway, right? Like that was the point of it, is to make her feel good. So like, as far as she's great at it.
Absolutely. River
Don't care how the other guy feels.
Man. I'll tell you what, River is a challenge of a character to deal with, but she's so much fun. I don't mind. But try doing everyone. If you've never run a game with me, the way I do my session zeros is I usually ask people questions in character in session zero. And man, that was a goddamn trip with River. Holy shit!
Spout off chocolate chip cookie recipes and
one of my
And
favorite
also-
things that you.
Sorry, I was
Yeah.
going to say also, let's not forget the whole reason why I stole the fish from the bar at the first place was because I asked
River
Zach
wanted.
before this session, what is something that I could steal that you
She
think
would
that
think that
River,
River
like,
would want.
River would say something that would make,
Oh, yeah.
make Cricket think, oh, this is important to River, I need to go find it. And so the bar with a fish singing Dilly Dally Sally is just pure
For those who
River.
don't know, Dilly Dally Sally was Lonnie's character from a Call of Cthulhu one shot that she and I did.
Yes, when you
And
were
so I
playing
made a
Princess
dirty
Peach,
song about Dilly Dally Sally because that,
as you do.
My favorite, also something you told me that River does that I love and I saw it in action, is that when people ask River a question, she will answer the question that she wished that they asked her instead. Which, like, River, what's going on? Well, in her mind, she wishes that someone had asked her instead her favorite recipe for chocolate chip cookies, so that's the question she's going to answer.
Yeah. And tonight the other thing I did that, and then the other thing I do for River is I just did Radiohead lyrics and lines from the Warriors.
Yeah, there was a lot of Warriors lines in there. I did
Which is
catch
great.
you referencing how it's all our turf, yeah.
I can't wait to play her again in 2 weeks.
Well, in the meantime, what you got going on?
Oh, I have stuff going on, which is fun. So I got this, and of course I'll be here next week and the week after, and then, like everyone said, on the 1st of February, is that right? The 1st, yeah, the 1st of February is the season 3 premiere of Impossible Landscapes with this crew plus a new cast member, and it'll be super great. And I run that show, and we all have a great time. So stick around for that. Next week on Tuesday is my first time. I'm joining the cast of the Star Trek Adventures campaign over on Modifius on their Twitch channel with a bunch of friends. And I'm an alien, so River's kind of an alien. I'm going to be an alien on Tuesdays going forward. That is at 3 p.m. Eastern because it's mostly UK based. So if you got nothing to do at 3 p.m. on Tuesdays, watch that. End of this month, the 29th of January, we finally get to do part 2 of our Heart 2-shot that we started last month. Heart, the City Beneath, and we just did a little 2-shot, and then we had to postpone the second part, but I can't wait to play that second part. It's such a cool system. It's so much fun. And then next month, I'm got another new show coming up, which we'll talk about then. But yeah, I've got stuff. It's just not paying me any money, but that's okay. That's all right. Anyway, that's me. Thanks, everyone. Colin, you're the best. We love you. Thank you for running this.
Hey, thanks.
And for making all of us watch The Warriors.
That's my greatest. That's all I really wanted here. I made everybody watch The Warriors. I did love Jim coming in like later in stream and being like, "Wow, this reminds me of The Warriors," and he wasn't there, but I was like, "Mission success." Right on. So yeah, I'm Colin. I've been your GM. I'm Colin Namicon on socials and shit. This is the only thing I do. I own a game company. It's called 6 String Games. That's like 6, like the number of strings on a guitar. Go check. You can buy some of my games. I'd appreciate that. You could give me money. You can find them on itch at 6 String Games or at 6stringgames.com. All of our audio tonight on the stream was provided by Tabletop Audio. If you have never heard Kevin MacLeod before, yes, you have. Guaranteed you have at some point. Fantastic royalty-free music, which I've been using for years and are absolutely delightful. So thank you to Tabletop Audio, Kevin MacLeod, and Compotech. Other additional audio was provided through VoiceMod, with which I did my voice modification and also some background music effects. I'd like to give a particular shout out to Saul Urich, the author of the Warriors novel from the 1960s that's sitting over on my dresser right now. This was so much fun. I've been wanting to do something Warriors inspired for a really long time. This is the perfect system for it. I've wanted to run this game for a really long time. It's a great system. So that with that final thank you, not the final actually, second to final thank you to John Harper, who is the author of Blades in the Dark and one of the best goddamn game designers currently working. He also made the game Aegon with Sean Nittner, which if you haven't played, you absolutely should. It's like Greek fantasy. John Harper is one of my TTRPG heroes, and he's probably never going to see this, but I hope he does, so I can tell him how great he is. And then final thanks to Hoop, our birthday boy. Thank you, Hoop, for allowing me to do this. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to doing it next week. I'd say stick around because we're rating somebody, but I don't know who we're rating. So just stick around. You'll go somewhere. You'll go along. I don't know where you're gonna go, but you're gonna go somewhere. You're gonna be here, and we're gonna take you somewhere else. I don't know. So yeah. Good night, folks. We will see you next week for part 2 of Blades in the Dark: The Midnight Runners. Good night, everybody.